from Floresville and SASportsStar.com. San Antonio's Sports Star. San Antonio's Sports Center.
Big weekend for the Texas A&M Aggies. They will face off against top-seeded Tennessee in the Men's College World Series Final. It all begins tomorrow night. You can catch all the action over on San Antonio's ESPN AM 1250. It begins at 6:15 with a pregame show. Well, the Cowboys may be looking to the UFL again after the signings of Willie Harvey Jr. and Garyon Conley. Cowboys are reportedly working out DC Defenders edge Derek Roberson.
Joe Reinagel.
And for the third time in 7 seasons, the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Happy Friday, everybody. It is Friday. We made it. We got here. It's done. And it's a great Friday. Finally stopped raining, at least when I walked in this building earlier. It wasn't raining. Sun was out. It was getting hot, which it's supposed to be in June. It's the way it's supposed to work. I'm happy about that. Good to see the sunshine and happy to have all of you here, however you are listening. If you're driving around San Antonio, listening on the radio, thank you for that. If you're on our YouTube page, please subscribe and like it. If you would do that for us, please, or wherever you're listening, however you're doing it, we appreciate you doing it on this Friday afternoon, sharing a little of your Friday afternoon with us. Hope everybody's got some great weekend plans and good stuff going on this weekend that you can rest and relax and have some fun. That's my plan. I want to have some fun, but I always want to have some fun, whether it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or whatever day. As long as it ends in Y, it's fair game. Fair game. I got to tell y'all something, and I only bring this up once, and I don't want it for anything other than the fact that it's true. It is my 3-year anniversary today with my beautiful wife, Maggie, and I bring that up only to say is the day when I woke up, it started out great, fantastic, but you know how things just kind of, your day is rolling along and things just happen. Well, let me tell you what happened today. Saturday, actually it was Friday night, and we were out at the Bluebonnet Palace. This was last Friday night for Kingdom Collapse. Driving home, my little low tire light came on. So I'm going, okay, all right. I figure I'm okay. Saturday morning, I take it over to Discount Tire, and there was a nail in my tire. So they patch it up or they put one of those plugs in there, and I'm thinking, well, this is great. And they do that, and I love the guys at Discount Tire right there. On 1604, they're very nice fellows. Fixed it up, and everything was hunky-dory, peachy keen, right? No problems until I'm driving home last night, and my little low tire thing comes on again. And I'm going, well, same tire, by the way. And I'm like, well, what the hell is going on? So I take it back over to Discount Tire today, and the guy squirts a little water bottle on where the plug was, and you see the bubbles coming out. And so he said, oh, it's leaking right here. And he goes, dude, there's nothing we can do about it. There's no way we can put a bigger plug in there, so you're screwed, basically. He didn't say that, but that's kind of how I heard it. You're screwed. So I had to call the dealership, and I called them. They said, yeah, bring it on over. And by the way, Discount Tire stuck some air in there, so I plenty safe getting there and no problem. Go over to the dealership, and he says, well, I'll look at it, and I'll call you, and I'll give you, hey, if we can patch it up, we'll patch it up. If we can't, well, you're going to need a new tire. So I got to get it fixed, right? I mean, no matter what it is, it's got to be fixed. So I can't have a flat tire, and I need the car to drive around. So I get the call right when I got to work here today. I don't know, it was about 12:30 or so, something like that. Get the call from the guy at the dealership. Hey, your car's all fixed. We put a new tire on there. And I'm going, wait a minute. So I'm thinking to myself, you didn't call me to say, well, we got this tire for this price or that tire for this price. He just put it on there. But say, hey, the good news is, Joe, is remember when you bought your car, you put that, you bought that little feature that's a tire feature, and you paid a little extra for that. So guess what? The tire is only $50. $50. Now, remember there was a guy by the name of Jason Minix at one time that before he went off on vacation, made fun of me for buying that kind of stuff. And I get it. I understand. But when you use it and it comes through like that, it just kind of made my day. So, by the way, Minix is on vacation, if I didn't mention that. I think I've mentioned that about 5 million times this week. Have I? Pledge?
What?
Have you heard of that?
What?
Minix is on vacation?
Really?
Yeah.
I was wondering
We didn't even notice he was gone, right? We didn't even notice the guy was gone.
I thought it'd been a nice
I
week.
don't know. I don't know where the hell he's been. No, he's on vacation. So that was cool, and I thought that was fine. But before I got here, I'm driving down Wurzbach Parkway. I always come Wurzbach Parkway to come to work. And, usually it's like you get here. It's no problem. Well, they cut it down to one lane. They're doing construction because they're doing construction everywhere in San Antonio. I don't think there's any place you can go in this city that they're not doing construction somewhere. So that took some time. And don't you love people that know that the lane that they're in is closed, but yet they still speed up and try to, squeeze in? And look, I'm a nice guy. I'll let people in, but I'm going to let everybody in. Yeah, you let one person in, you move on, you be polite. But, like 3 people want to get in the same place, and I'm letting the one guy in. So that was kind of irritating. And then I got the call, and that made everything a little bit better. And then I realized, it's Friday, so it's not so bad. So then I get to work here, and Pledge and some other people that work here say, "Hey, Joe, have you heard of this thing on TikTok called the Hawk Tuah?" And I'm like, "No, what is that?" "It's Hawk Tuah. It's a Hawk Tuah Girl." And I'm going,
Tuah.
Hawk Tuah. Oh, it's not Tuah? It should be Tuah. Hawk Tuah. The Hawk Tuah Girl. Have you heard this girl? I mean, I guess it's all over the place, and I'm like the last one to figure this thing out. But the Hawk Tuah Girl. Now, I watched the video for the first time, and people are funny. Look, the internet is undefeated. It really is. People get funny and all of that. We don't have that, do we, Pledge?
What's one move in bed that makes a man go crazy every time?
Oh, you got to give him that Hawk Tuah and spit on that thing.
So now it's like my favorite internet thing. And I was like, I looked at Pledge. I said, I don't know what she's talking about. I have no clue what she's talking about. I said that. I think I know what she's talking about.
Well, it's your anniversary. Maybe, hopefully, you can get some Hawk Tuah.
Well, people are selling hats now. They're selling T-shirts for this thing. And it's like, wow. So picture this. You're out tonight having a drink or a couple or several or whatever, and some dude walks up to you and says, "Hey, what is it that men really like in bed?" And you say something that you have no clue is going to go viral, and then all of a sudden you're an internet sensation, like the Hawk Tuah Girl.
Oh, you got to give him that Hawk Tuah, spit on that thing. Oh, you got to give him that Hawk Tuah, spit on that thing. Hawk Tuah, spit on that thing, 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 spit on that thing.
Nice, Pledge. Nice. James Pledge are doing his thing over there. So I thought it never ceases to amaze me, the things that you find on the internet, just random stuff. Because I get lost in reels just like everybody else does, and you're killing time, and all of a sudden, 2 hours has gone by. But all of this stuff, so it's been an up and down day. And the cherry on top, so to speak, is the Hawk Tuah Girl. And it's the things that will put a smile on your face. And I saw some dude, some farmer-looking guy wearing this. What's the T-shirt? It says, if you don't Hawk Tuah, I won't talk to you, or something to that effect.
If you don't Hawk Tuah, I don't want to talk to you.
Yeah. And I thought it's genius. And people in this country are just genius when it comes to stuff like that. Hats already, T-shirts already, and who knows? And then the funny responses that you have to some of this stuff, and it's just funny as hell. It really is funny as hell. And I just want to know: am I the last guy to know about the Hawk Tuah?
Oh, you got to give him that Hawk Tuah, spit on that thing. Oh, you got to give him that Hawk Tuah, spit on
You had a lot of time in your hands today. Huh? Very nice. So, Fred Villarreal is asking a great question on our YouTube channel. Is it the Hawk Tuah Girl or the Edmonton Oiler boob girl, Kate? Kate resurfaced this week. And by the way, Edmonton plays tonight. It's game 6. And no coincidence that Kate resurfaces and Edmonton gets a big game 5 win. So if Edmonton wins again tonight in the Stanley Cup Finals, I think Kate deserves a statue in Edmonton. Don't you? So we didn't rehearse this pledge in the pre-show, but do you have the boob girl handy? You don't? Okay. We'll get the boob girl. I want to get the boob girl and the Hawk Tuah Girl going side by side. And then we can decide. We'll have a little contest. Which one you like better? The Hawk Tuah Girl or the boob girl from Edmonton?
I mean, the problem is the Edmonton Oiler girl, you can't. I mean, it's a visual thing.
Well, of course it's visual. But everybody's got their own imagination, Pledge. Everybody's got their own imagination. And if you've seen it, it doesn't leave your mind. I mean, let's face it. I know you have dreams about it every night. So let's don't pretend here. Because if you've seen it, and you know what I'm talking about. And if you've seen the Hawk Tuah Girl, you know what she's talking about. So I'm thinking if they combine their talents, it makes some dude very happy, I would assume. You got the Edmonton boobs and the Hawk Tuah from wherever she's from, Nashville or, I don't know. She got to be from the South, the Hawk Tuah Girl, because she's got that accent. You know what I mean? She's going to make some Southern dude very happy. I just think it's a contest waiting to happen. Or a poll, Ryan, waiting to happen. I don't know. Something has got to be done about this to settle the lifelong debate that you're all having on this Friday afternoon. Who brings more to society? Kate the boob girl or the Hawk Tuah Girl? Because one of them does, and we need to know. Or we could just say they both do and leave it at that.
God bless them both.
And this is a great country that we have women out there like that we can make fun of and have fun with, not only on a Friday afternoon, but perhaps a Friday night as well. So my day's gotten a lot better because of the Hawk
bed
Tuah
that makes
Girl.
a man go crazy every time.
Oh, you gotta give him that Hawk Tuah and spit on that thing. You get me?
Spit on that thing. You hear me? Yeah. All right. Anthony Del Toro on YouTube says she's from Somerset.
There's a lot of Somersets across the United States.
Yes, there are. And I want to say that was in Nashville or something, right, Pledge? Wouldn't you think? It was like some pub crawl?
It looked like it.
Yeah,
I know she was involved in a pub crawl somewhere, which is where that street interview happened, and that's how it went viral.
I mean, obviously, this girl didn't hesitate. So it's something that's part of her repertoire when it comes to the sack. I mean, I hope she keeps a glass of water nearby. I don't know. I mean, she's, if you got a talent, you got to flaunt it. I mean, it's just the way that you got to do it. And now she's told the world about her talent, and everything is right in the world. Well, we're fortunate here in San Antonio to have a talent. The guy's name is Victor Wembanyama. And yesterday we were fortunate enough to have Antonio Daniels on. If you missed our interview at 5:30 yesterday, you can go back AA Best Bail Bonds video vault and look at that thing, or audio vault, I should say. It's not a video vault, but you can hear Antonio. But Pledge has been nice enough to kind of cut up some of the stuff that he said about Victor Wembanyama. We're going to hear from him. And Jamal Crawford was working with Wemby earlier this week, and he talks about what he did and what he thinks Wemby needs. We're going to hear from all of those people coming up as we continue here on this Friday afternoon edition of the Blitz, right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
San Antonio Sports Star.
Have you gotten your hands on Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds at HEB yet? Southern Recipe small batch offers big, bold flavors like hot honey, spicy dill, and sea salt and cracked black pepper. Bonus, you're going to love the low-carb, high-protein crunch. Turn snack time from ordinary to extraordinary with flavorful pork rinds. Pick up your favorite flavors of Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds at HEB today.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone. I went through it a while back. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text. Text KICK to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text KICK to 42424. That's KICK to 42424.
Products and statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or illness.
Hi, April Lancieri here from the Ansira Auto Group. And Danielle Gunter, Executive Director of Texas Yes, here to tell you about the Drive Away for Education raffle sponsored by the Ansira Auto Group. Proceeds directly benefit Texas schools and students.
And now you can help by purchasing raffle tickets. The winner gets to choose a new Chevy, Nissan, Jeep, Volkswagen, or Kia.
Plus, there's a chance to win additional prizes through our weekly drawings, a shopping spree, or a gas card.
Get your raffle tickets today at TexasYesProject.org.
Winner responsible for tax title license and federal withholding.
Did somebody say free diamond bracelet? That's right. Diamonds Direct is expanding upon their best offer yet. Make any purchase this month and receive a free diamond tennis bracelet valued at $2,000. That's right. Any engagement ring, any diamond necklace, any timepiece. Purchase any item valued at $10,000 or more and receive a stunning diamond tennis bracelet at no extra cost. Every purchase of $10,000 or more qualifies. So hurry into Diamonds Direct. Your chance to get a free tennis bracelet ends June 30th. Details at diamondsdirect.com.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you. Discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free, with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
You have way too much fun, Pledge. With the Hawk Tuah Girl. You're having way too much fun, but I'm enjoying the efforts, by the way. And I just got to thinking, and it's going to be kind of gross, but you know, it's a Friday. Whenever you do like a Tuah, you're like snot coming out. I mean, I that's always kind of how I was taught. And I'm not sure about the rest of y'all. Maybe some of y'all get off on that. I don't know, but that doesn't sound too good. Although I like your efforts there, Pledge. Very nice. And I think the Hawk Tuah Girl is A mascot now. We say a mascot of the Blitz or San Antonio Sports Star? I think she should be. Goodness gracious. Wow. Well, I'm proud of that girl. I hope she's making a ton of money because she should be. She's getting her 15 minutes of fame, that's for sure. Hey, this is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. So happy you guys are here to party with us on this Friday afternoon. I'm Joe Reinagle. Jason Minix is on vacation. James Pledger is in the glass box of fun, and he's having some fun back there for sure. Want to talk a little bit about Victor Wembanyama. Obviously, the NBA draft is coming up next week. Next Wednesday, in fact, is round 1. Thursday is round 2. But been so much speculation when it comes to the NBA draft about what not only the Spurs, but what the first pick's going to be, who's going to do what, is it going to be trades, all of that kind of stuff. It really seems to me like this draft is one of those drafts that anything could happen, and I don't think anybody would be surprised about it. And that's what might make it entertaining and fun, that we really don't know what's going to happen. Everybody, I think, has got their favorite player. They'd like to see the Spurs draft. Stephon Castle is one of those guys out of UConn that I like. I know Pledge likes the guy that could be a guy that could come in here and really develop quickly and be a part of this Spurs team very quickly. But do the Spurs do that, or do they trade those away, get somebody else? So there's so many question marks surrounding the draft. But one question mark that the Spurs don't have, and that's about their generational talent in Victor Wembanyama. The guy is fantastic. He's going to be a superstar. A former Spur, an NBA champion with the Spurs, Antonio Daniels, was with us on the Blitz yesterday, and it was late in the show, so if you missed it, I'm sorry about that. But I wanted to let you listen to some of the things that AD had to say about Victor Wembanyama, because look, Antonio Daniels now is a broadcaster for the New Orleans Pelicans. He works with our other good friend who used to work for Spurs Broadcasting, Joel Meyer. And so they're good friends of the show, and they continue to watch the San Antonio Spurs and what's going on. But let's face it, everybody's watching the San Antonio Spurs right now and what's going on because of Victor Wembanyama. But Antonio, I asked him the question yesterday, is what the best way to build around Wemby? Do you go slow or do you speed things up a little bit?
You know, the thing about the San Antonio Spurs, they've never been the type of organization to go big game hunting. That's never been their style. Like if you go back and you look through their 20 years of sustained success, the best free agents that they brought in here was, I'm talking about via free agency, was Richard Jefferson and LaMarcus Aldridge. Those are the best two that I can think of right offhand via free agency. Everybody else they may have traded for, but here's the difference though. San Antonio has never been a free agent hotbed, but when you have a star like Victor Wembanyama, what'll happen in today's NBA, when you have young talent, people will line up to play with young talent. He is going to draw people to San Antonio. It's a given, even though it hasn't happened in the past. So, because when you have Tim Duncan here and David Robinson here, and you draft Manu Ginobili and you draft Tony Parker, in years past, they've done it organically. And it's worked for them. It's been fantastic. But now, the fact that you have this alien on your hand, it forces you to do things differently. Because here's the thing. Popovich has coached some great talent. You know, he's coached Tim Duncan and he's coached David Robinson, and we talked about Manu Ginobili and Tony Parker and all those guys. You know what? He's never coached someone with the skill set of Victor Wembanyama, though. So it's unfair for people to think just because Pop coached Tim and just because Pop coached David that he should have it all figured out with Victor Wembanyama, because this guy is something different than we've ever seen in this league before. So Pop is learning on the fly just like everybody else is.
Well, and I think we kind of saw some of that at the beginning of the year with the whole Jeremy Sohan experiment that went awry and didn't work out too well. Antonio was pretty open and honest about the Spurs way. And you just heard him say that they don't go big game hunting. And I don't think anybody's suggesting they go big game hunting this year either. However, Antonio, it's his opinion that it's not the Spurs that need to expedite the process. It's Wemby who has already done that.
I tell you what he's done. He's expedited the process. Because when he first came in, the thought was, okay, you know, the Spurs can afford to take it slow. They can afford to take it slow and year by year. Now you can't. You know, there are two things I'll say about Victor Wembanyama. One of them, I think a year from now, he'll be the best player in the world. And my co-host told me this the other day, and I love the way he put it. If you could press start, scroll down to settings, and then take injuries off, he realistically has an opportunity to be the best player that's ever played this game.
Wow.
And that's real. That is like to watch Victor Wembanyama up close and personal. To watch, like, you know, you can hear the hype and he's going to be this and going to be that. But when you see it, and he has an edge to him. So I don't have a problem. You know, I'm not big on hyperbole. You know, watching a lot of the sports shows where they hot takes and they're all over the place. I have a problem. I have no problem whatsoever saying a year from now, San Antonio Spurs could easily have the best player in the world. In 10 to 15 years from now, San Antonio could have the best player that ever touched the basketball. I don't have a issue or problem saying that one bit.
Wow, and that's big praise when you're talking about a Michael Jordan, a LeBron James, and the list goes on and on when you're talking about some of the best in the NBA. High praise from Antonio Daniels. But he also said, look, this Spurs team has got to have a quality point guard.
No disrespect to Jeremy Sohan, and I understand the thought process that Pop had at that time, but the point guard position is not a skill set, it's a mindset. So when you have a guy who thinks like a point guard, right? I remember watching the San Antonio Spurs on nights where the New Orleans Pelicans weren't playing. And there were so many times that Wemby was open, but guys didn't know how to get him the ball because it's something that you have to learn. But when you have a guy like Trey Jones who thinks the position, right? Again, it's not a skill set, it's a mindset. So there are certain things that you think. And now you're putting Wemby in positions of success on one hand, but then you also have somebody on the other hand that knows how to get him that basketball as well. That's not what Jeremy Sohan did. That's not who he was. Like, you think about the course of his career going back to Baylor, like, he wasn't a point guard guy, you know, but when you insert a point guard guy, now Wemby's running and he's rim running and these lobs are open and now he's getting a lot more easy opportunities. I think that's when things started to change for the San Antonio Spurs.
Interesting. And Antonio, in that interview, which you can go to the audio vault, sponsored by AA Best Bail Bonds, if you'd like to hear the entire interview. He also talked about, because I simply said, look, it looked like Wemby was lost in November and December. Well, Antonio said nothing clicked really. It was when they moved him to the 5. He said he thought that was the key to Wemby really taking off, because then he knew exactly what he needed to do and how he needed to play. That was Antonio's opinion on Wemby moving to the 5, and he said he thought that helped them tremendously. Now, look, another former NBA player, Jamal Crawford, worked with Victor Wembanyama here in San Antonio. And, well, first and foremost, he was on with who was he on with, Pledge?
Dan Patrick.
Dan Patrick. He was on with Dan Patrick, and he told Dan, well, exactly what he was working with Wemby on.
Well, we go back to earlier this season when we had him on the show, and I asked him, you know, because he'd been doing some crazy moves. So I asked him about, you know, if he could do this particular move. And he's like, yeah, I've been doing that for years. I'm like, yeah, okay. And then we hook up at All-Star, and I just show him some freestyle moves. And from there, our relationship kind of took off.
Wait, what did you show him?
Well, I showed him, you know, a wraparound move where he wraps around his body. It's only reserved for tall guards, Dan. You know, guys with long arms that can pull this off. And I thought he could take us to the next level. But it was funny when I started showing him, although the rookie sophomores on the court, all the attention, they stopped shooting and just went over there. I'm like, okay, let's just keep this surface level because everybody's watching right now.
Wow. Can you imagine Wemby developing some moves that they're going to be just unstoppable, completely unstoppable? And this is a great thing that the Spurs are doing for Victor Wembanyama, allowing him to work with veteran NBA players. But I think, again, and I've said this all along, that you need some of those guys on the floor with him in real time to help him there also. And there's no telling how good this guy can be. Again, Crawford, who worked with Wemby, agrees with Antonio Daniels and so many others that the Spurs have got to have a pure point guard.
They absolutely can. And I can see why it would take a little bit because he's such a unique talent and you can use him so many different places on the court, right? Like you can use him bringing up the ball. You can use him in the mid-post area. You can use him in the post area. He can shoot transition threes and do everything in between. So I understand popping those guys' thinking because you just don't know exactly what you have until you have it. And even then, he can kind of stretch the imagination. But you're right, getting that point guard to kind of grow with him and that fits him would definitely serve them well.
Yeah, no doubt. So a point guard, Stephen Castle, Stephon Castle, Stephen Castle. All right, Pledge says it's Stephon. Rob Thompson said Steven the other day, so I kind of go with him. But I'll say Stephon. That's cool. I think he'd be good.
It's spelled with an O.
I know how it's spelled. Doesn't mean he says Stephon. It could still be Steven. Let me have my fun here. Pledge, will you? For goodness sake. Have some fun. I just think, look, it's pretty clear to most people that Spurs need a quality point guard. And I hope they go out and get one, whether that's a veteran guy that's already in the league, you draft one for the future, and then you go from there. Trey Jones is a good guy and a quality guy, and maybe he can develop into that, perhaps. But I think the Spurs, if they're going to improve, they need a guy that can get Victor Wembanyama the basketball where he wants it, where he likes it, and then go from there. And this draft is going to be fascinating for me because it's going to tell you everything you need to know about the Spurs' plans and how fast they're going to move this thing along. By what they do, their actions in the draft, it's going to tell you everything you need to know, and that's why I'm looking forward to it. So a lot of fun. I appreciate Antonio Daniels sharing his insight and knowledge with us. And then Jamal Crawford, and happy that the Spurs are allowing Wemby to work with guys like that can instill some knowledge in him that he needs. I mean, let's face it, the guy's a great basketball player talent-wise, there's no doubt. But then you get that smarts, that instinct to go along with it that a guy like Jamal Crawford can teach you, can show you, that like Tim Duncan, I'm sure, has been doing as well. And all of those things combined is going to make what Antonio says will be the greatest basketball player in NBA history. He believes Victor Wembanyama can be that. And I think a lot of Spurs fans certainly hopeful that that can happen. And if not the best, certainly one of the best. When he retires, whenever that happens to be down the road, where you look at Victor Wembanyama as one of the greatest to ever play the game. And I think he certainly has that ability. Still some things to learn, but he's getting there, and the Spurs are allowing him to work with the right people, and that is fantastic. All right, when we come back, we're going to switch gears, go from basketball to football. Quinn Ewers was on with RG3, and they talked a lot about Arch Manning and how they're handling how the fans that might react. Look, let's face it, if Quinn has a bad game, you know the chants are going to be starting. Arch. How's Quinn prepared to handle stuff like that as they move into the SEC? We're going to hear from Quinn, and we'll talk a little SEC and Texas football when we continue here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Monday on the Morning Huddle, are the Aggies standing supreme or do they need another game? We'll talk about it.
And finally, it's draft week in San Antonio. We'll see what the latest is with the Spurs. Morning Huddle, 94.1 starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Morning 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
I'm riding my motorcycle, and I come across an animal in the woods, and my heart skipped a beat. I was like, what in the hell am I looking at? Is it Bigfoot? And it was a llama.
What?
There's this llama in the middle of the woods. Scared the hell out of me.
And why you saw that?
Why?
Because it was white people doing white people things.
The John Clay Wolf Show.
Catch the John Clay Wolf Show Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that is MediShare. Maybe you've heard switching to MediShare to pay for healthcare can save many families up to $500 a month, and that is huge. But it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The member satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. Medishare works too. It's been around for 30 years. Members have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now. You'll get a price within 2 minutes. So see what you can save. This is a very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. Call 844-43-BIBLE. That's 844-43-BIBLE. 844-43-BIBLE.
Hey, everybody, it's Rob Thompson here for Prize Picks. It is my game of fun and fantasy, and it's time for the excitement for summer sports to begin. And I say the best way to take summer sports and have the fun with it is to take it to the next level with Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app. A community of over 5 million players. If you're not a member, I promise you know one. Prize Picks, it's about more or less. It's about playing the things that you know. You can make Prize Picks a daily game, a weekly game, do whatever you like, and you can do it fast. You can turn $10 into $1,000 in just a couple of seconds by playing Prize Picks. So get ready to enjoy the fantasy games that you love with the app that is available. And here's the key right now. If you use the code ALAMO, that's ALAMO, you'll get up to $100. Enter the code ALAMO at the Prize Picks app on your first deposit match of up to $100. You know the games are there. You're a fantasy player. Play them the right way. That's Prize Picks. Alamo today.
Some people just know there's a better way to do things, like bundling your home and auto insurance with Allstate, or going to the grocery store for milk instead of buying your own cow. You know there's an easier and better way. Save up to 25% when you bundle home and auto with Allstate.
Bundled savings vary by state and are not available in every state. Saving up to 25% is the countrywide average of the maximum available savings off the home policy. Allstate Vehicle and Property Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
4th of July appliance savings are happening now at the Home Depot, so upgrade with innovative appliance brands like GE Profile. Modernize your kitchen with a new GE Profile 4-door French door refrigerator with hands-free auto-fill dispenser. And with the GE Profile Ultra-Fast Combo Washer Dryer, you can tackle large loads in about 2 hours. Save up to $2,400 on select kitchen packages with 4th of July savings at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Pricing about June 19th to July 10th, U.S. only. See store online for details.
The Ace Superhero Comic Con presented by Thomas J. Henry is coming June 20th to the 23rd. Meet Star Trek's Chris Pine, Spider-Man Far From Home star Jake Gyllenhaal, Pirates of the Caribbean's Orlando Bloom, Star Wars Diego Luna, She-Hulk's Tatiana Maslany, and the Marvels Aman Vellani. Plus, the Supermen, Ghostbusters Ernie Hudson, and Arrow's Stephen Amell and David Ramsey. Get your event passes now at pmxevents.com. That's pmxevents.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Ready for the ultimate outdoor adventure? 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star has your chance to win a getaway to Telluride, Colorado. Your prize package includes airfare and luxurious hotel accommodations for two, plus thrilling expeditions like fly fishing, kayaking, ATV rides, and more. And it could be all yours. Enter once per day at sasportstar.com. You must be 18 or older to play. This is an Alpha Media company-wide contest. One winner will be chosen. Complete rules at sasportstar.com. Don't miss out on the adventure of a lifetime. Enter now at sasportstar.com. It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Mornings 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Move in bed that makes a man go crazy every time.
Oh, you gotta give him that Hawk Tuah, spit all night thing. Hawk Tuah, spit all night thing. Hawk Tuah, spit all night thing. Oh, you gotta give him that Hawk Tuah, spit all night thing.
I think we got something here, Pledge. Yeah, this is like sound effects and stuff I don't think you've used in a long time. Have you?
No.
Yeah, it's great. We're
I've
breaking
gone
up
down
the
a
good
wormhole
stuff.
on TikTok. So
that's nice. No, it's awesome. I like it because, you know, I was today years old when I knew there was a Hawk Tuah Girl. I didn't know. I had no clue. So this is the things you learn And I don't know. And then Pledge looks at me and he's like, well, it's been out for about a week. I'm like, well, who knew? I mean, did y'all know that there was a Hawk Tuah Girl? Oh, wow. I don't know. Social media, you sometimes know more about people than maybe you want to know. They put it all out there, and it's like, well, if you're doing that, that's great. Do we need to know about it?
I mean, that's what we need to have, though. We need to have Joe Reinagle, great night at the Rue Pub, walking over to the big blind, getting ready to go, throw some money away. And somebody just walks up and is like, street interview Reinagle.
Well, I wouldn't say anything about Hawk Tuah.
Oh, I know you wouldn't say Hawk Tuah, but that's the whole point. You don't know what you're going to say.
You have no clue, especially after a few drinks. I've said some stupid things, and at least this girl's honest. I mean, I think she was trying to brag on herself. And I understand, is she a preacher's daughter?
It's the rumor.
That's the rumor, right? Well, let me tell you something about preacher's daughters. And I don't know that they're all like this, and I'm not trying to pigeonhole anybody, but I dated one in high school. And the rumors are true.
She Hawk Tuah?
Well, I wouldn't go that far, but I'm just saying that the rumors are true. They can be a little bit fun, for lack of a better word. So I'll leave it at that. It's a long time ago, back in high school, but everybody thinks, well, it's a pastor's daughter, a preacher's daughter. They're going to be perfect. Not all the time. Not all the time. Welcome back to the Blitz, everybody, here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Joe Reinagle. Jason Minix is on vacation. He'll be back with us on Monday. But James Pledger is here. He's not on vacation. He's pushing the buttons and making that great music with the Hawk Tuah Girl. So it's but Bubba Rivas on YouTube says it sounds like Joe sounds like my buddy Randy. He is fascinated with a Hawk Tuah Girl. I'm not sure that it's gone to fascination just yet, Bubba, but it's one of those things you just don't see all the time.
Oh, there's a fascination.
Well, maybe there is. Maybe there is. I just like the honesty. The honesty. That's kind of what I like. So we will, I'm sure Pledge will have some new creations for us as we move along the show. In the meantime, though, we're going to talk a little SEC football, Texas Longhorn football, because Texas is one of those teams that has gotten better. And I have to admit that Sark, I'm not a big believer in Sark when he got there, but he's doing a good job, especially when it comes to his quarterback. He's got Quinn Ewers and also Arch Manning. Obviously, bright future for Texas when it comes to the quarterback position. If all of those guys stay put and stay where they are, Ewers could have gone to the NFL this year, could have declared for the draft. He didn't do that, wanted to come back. Everybody panicked and thought, oh, boy, Arch is gone. That guy's gone. He's going to leave for Georgia or Michigan or wherever, parts unknown. But he didn't do that. He wanted to stay at Texas, and knowing full well that mostly – now, look, Arch will be able to compete for the job. There's no doubt about it. But most likely, everybody thinks that Quinn's going to be the guy this year, and then Arch will take over after that. Well, it's interesting because Quinn Ewers was on with RG3, and they were talking about Arch Manning and how Quinn is going to deal with the noise that is going to come for that first interception, that first bad game, whatever, name your scenario, but he's going to have to deal with the noise of fans who are screaming for Arch Manning.
Yeah, that's a great question. I think we're really intense competitors, and we all want the same outcome.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I think we're better humans, and I think we're better people, and I think that we really enjoy each other's company in that quarterback room. I mean, during the season, we do quarterback dinners every Tuesday, and we go have dinner together after Tuesday meetings. So, I mean, the room is I've never been in a closer room. I mean, all 3 years, it's been a super close room. I mean, my first year here, me and Hudson Card were in a quarterback battle, but at the same time, we're all hanging out on the weekends, going to dinners, enjoying each other's company. So Yeah, football means a lot to all of us, but being good humans, I think, means more.
Pretty good answer, I would say, right? Hudson Card, man, I forgot all about that dude. He just kind of disappeared in a poof. But Quinn Ewers is a good answer, I think. And so if nothing else, Quinn is learning how to say the right things, because he actually thinks that sitting on the bench, watching him play is actually going to be really good for Arch.
Yeah, I think that he gains a lot. I mean, just, not being from the state and coming in, and it's obviously a little different. I think he's got more time to grow his pride and love for the university. Obviously, he loves the university and loves the Longhorns, but kind of being able to sit back and watch, I think that is it's different than playing. So him seeing kind of what's going on from inside, but also outside, I think that he can get a lot of intel from that. And then obviously another year to learn the offense and just get more comfortable within the smaller details. I think, it's like the best situation for him, I think.
And I think he's probably right there. That is the best situation for him. But playing is a good thing too. And it's going to be interesting to see, because Steve Sarkisian has done a great job with these guys, I think. And the fact that Arch, there was no rumors, no talk, no disruption at all when Quinn came back, and Quinn's going to be the guy. And it makes a lot of sense to have a veteran guy as your team transitions from the Big 12 into the SEC. You've got Quinn ready to go and Arch as your backup. And keep in mind, the SEC is a very physical league, and the chances of injury are ripe. And we know Quinn, injured, banged up. He's been hurt before, and you need a quality backup. I think Arch Manning's going to get his time. I really think he's going to get his time this year. I think he'll see the field. And I don't wish anything bad on Quinn Ewers. That's not what I'm saying, but I just think the nature of the beast is that there will be a game or two or more where Arch Manning is going to be called on to get out there, and he will get his experience, certainly. Quinn Ewers was very complimentary of his head coach, and of course you would think that he would be. But I think with what Sark does and what I've seen and heard about Steve Sarkisian is he's screw Sean Payton, all right? Steve Sarkisian is the quarterback whisperer.
Well, from the day I got here, I think the thing I've heard most from him is you can't go broke taking a profit, right?
Yes.
Don't try to force those deep shots, because he'll call them, but he'll call more of them if he trusts you to check one down if it's not there.
That's true.
And obviously just him being in the position that we've been in. He played college quarterback and then went to the Canadian League, so he obviously knows. He knows what it feels like to be in our shoes, and he said it. We're getting a PhD in quarterback play here. So he's been there, he's done that. He's had Heisman Trophy winners, he's had first round draft picks. So
Right.
You'd be silly not to trust the guy.
Well, obviously it's working out for Quinn, and I think Quinn made the right decision not jumping to the NFL this year. He can go next year where the quarterback class is not quite as good as it was and has been. So I think he made the right call. You stay at Texas, you do well, successful season for the University of Texas, and his stock will rise. And I think I have a feeling that Sark had a lot to do with that. Wanting him back, wanting his veteran quarterback back as they transition into the SEC. And speaking of the SEC, Quinn Ewers says he's excited to be jumping leagues and getting into the best in college football.
Yeah, I've always, wanted to play in the SEC, and for Texas first season in the SEC, couldn't be more excited. And we're all excited, and I think it means a lot to all the schools in the SEC. It's just like that Southern lifestyle, football and family.
Right.
And we just feel like it means more, and we're excited to be a part of it.
Football and family in the SEC. I don't think I've ever heard it described that way, football and family. But it is the best conference, I think, top to bottom in college football. So, or you could say it's a little top heavy too, especially with Oklahoma and Texas coming in there, because you still have your guys your teams in there like Vanderbilt, Mississippi State, which hasn't been all that great as of late. Maybe even Mississippi, although they're back and forth. So there are teams in there that are up and down, and it could be considered a top-heavy league when you look at that. But I think Texas and Oklahoma moving over there is going to add a lot of excitement. I'm excited about watching Texas football, to be honest with you. When you talk about the teams that they're going to have to face, they've got Michigan on the schedule. They obviously have to play Oklahoma. They've got Texas A&M. They've got Georgia. I mean, it's a gauntlet. And if you get through that, you deserve to be playing in the playoffs, and you deserve a very high seed, not to mention that. I mean, it's going to be a gauntlet for the University of Texas in their first year in the SEC. Certainly going to be tough. But Quinn says, look, we've got high goals and high expectations.
We take it one day at a time. But, I mean, we're all human, and we understand what we want to accomplish. And we've kind of set our minds on, obviously, the SEC championship, but also January 20th, that national championship game. So, that's what we want, and that's what we are going to hold ourselves to. So, I know we're all excited to get to the SEC.
Yep, they are. And everybody, and college football fans are excited to see them there and see football start again. And think about it. We're coming toward the end of June, right smack dab in the middle of it, I guess, even on the other side of the middle. But June's almost over. July's coming up. Training camps are going to open up. You got college football getting ready to kick off. Man, I tell you what, we're getting close. Love the summertime. It's great, but I'm ready for a little football, both college and pro, and I can't wait for that to happen. So looking forward to seeing what the Texas Longhorns can do in the SEC. And I find it fascinating, and I will give Quinn Ewers a lot of credit. He's already got the NFL football press conference guide down. Now, he's got it down. We're going to take it one day at a time. We love each other. We hang out together. We do all that stuff. He's got it down. So in that respect, he's one step ahead of the game, and a smart move again on his part to have waited. I just think that was genius. But my opinion of Steve Sarkisian has changed a lot because look, this guy's worked for a lot of big name head coaches, and coming over here and seeing what he's done with this Texas football team has really been remarkable. I mean, it really has been remarkable. So I reserve the right to change my mind. I have, and I want to give this guy the credit that I think he deserves because he's doing a good job. And I think having these two guys, and look, there's a reason why the Manning family wanted Arch to go to Texas. Now, I know Arch wanted to play football at Texas. It's always been his dream. But look, there's a reason why I think they're helping the process. And I'm talking about the Manning family. That don't muddy the water. Do what Sark says. Let's follow the process and let's get this thing done. And I think there's a reason for that. They trust Steve Sarkisian to do what is best for Arch Manning. And then there's a whole NIL money that he can't take. And I just think it's fascinating when you look at what the Manning family. Now, granted, they're pretty well off, so they're different than a lot of people. But it's interesting to see how they're playing this whole thing, and I think it is going to be good for Arch Manning, and I think he's going to end up being a good player. Problem is, we just haven't seen him, and that's what I would like to see. We just have not seen him, and I want to see the guy play, and not just in a spring football game where he looks great. I want to see him play in the heat of a battle against a team like Georgia, a team like Tennessee, Florida, a big name school, Texas A&M, and see how he is in the heat of the battle. That's what I want to see. And I think a lot of football fans are excited to see that as well. Now, Pledge has just put something up here. It's a tweet from Willie Nelson. And it says that we regret to inform you that Willie Nelson is not feeling well and per doctor's orders has been advised to rest for the next 4 days. He is expected to make a quick recovery and join the Outlaw Music Festival tour next week. In the meantime, Lucas Nelson and the family band, along with a few guests, will perform a special set to include Willie's classics and other songs. So not good to see that. Obviously, anytime Willie Nelson's not feeling well, what is Willie, 90 something? He's up there. He's up there. But he's still performing. He's still touring. He's still doing all the stuff that Willie Nelson has done his entire life. But, boy, to hear that. 91 pledge? Okay, Willie's 91.
And we just lost Donald Sutherland yesterday.
We did lose Donald
88.
Sutherland. 88. Wow. All these guys that I grew up watching are starting to kill over.
I grew up watching them too.
Well, I know, but you're a hell of a lot younger than I am, Pledge. So, I'm a little closer to that door than you are. Age-wise, anyway. I know none of us know. But I hope Willie's okay. The family seems optimistic he's going to make a quick recovery, but he's not feeling well. Hopefully it's just a cold, something like that. Because, look, eventually it's going to happen, right? The guy's 91 years old. Eventually it will happen. But a guy like Willie Nelson, it just makes smoking pot seem like it helps, doesn't it? The guy that lives 91 years old, you would think it just kind of helps. There's got to be something in those herbs that help with life expectancy, longevity, whatever the case may be. Speaking of life longevity, I wonder how the Stafford family's doing today. And I really do, because Matthew Stafford, the quarterback for the LA Rams, his wife said something yesterday, made an admission yesterday that if I'm Matthew Stafford, I'm not happy about. And I'm not sure you would be either. We'll hear from his wife coming up as soon as we continue right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Riding home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6, KTFM Floresville. And everywhere at sasportstar.com.
George gets justice. If you've been injured, get George, because George gets justice. With over 100 years of combined experience and a relentless dedication to your case, the attorneys at George Salinas Injury Lawyers will fight for what's right. If you've been injured and it's not your fault, get George and get the compensation you deserve. Call George Salinas Injury Lawyers today at 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com. George gets justice. Getgeorge.com.
Pork rinds pack a protein punch and are the boldest low-carb snacks out there. Skip the chip and try Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds for that ultimate crunch. And with flavors that will have you craving for more, the time to stock up on Southern Recipe at H-E-B is now. Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds. Be big, be bold, be adventurous.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9313. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9313. That's 800-575-9313. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textblend.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Go to nomoredraftywindows.com for full offer details.
Homeowners, ready to replace your windows or patio doors, but think it's going to be too expensive? Well, think again, because with Renewal by Andersen, you can get top quality, affordable windows and patio doors for no money down, no payments, and no interest for 12 months. That's right. You don't pay a dime for an entire year. Just text LONG to 200-300 right now for your free in-home window consultation and free price quote. Upgrade your home with new energy-efficient windows and doors installed by certified master installers from Renewal by Andersen and get their best in the the nation 20-year warranty. Renewal by Andersen is the company with the most 5-star reviews among leading full-service window replacement companies. Act now and get your windows and patio doors for no dollars down, no payments, and no interest for an entire year. Plus, save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. But hurry, these big dollar savings end this month. Text LONG to 200-300. Text the word LONG to 200-300. Don't wait. Text LONG to 200-300.
San Antonio's Sports Star. San Antonio's Sports Center.
Well, an impending free agent possibility is now off the board. Kings guard and Sixth Man of the Year runner-up Malik Monk. He's going to be staying in Sacramento, agreeing to a 4-year, $78 million deal. Cowboys may be looking to the UFL again after they signed Willie Harvey Jr. and Garyon Conley. Cowboys are reportedly working out DC Defenders edge Derek Roberson, who, by the way, is from San Antonio and Brennan High School.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas Authority in Barricade Rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
Joe Reinagel.
And for the third time in 7 seasons, the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
You know, it's funny. I'm looking up at the monitor here in the studio, and ESPN has got the highest paid quarterbacks by average, and Trevor Lawrence seemed to be at the front of that list. Trevor Lawrence.
I mean, he's tied.
Well, okay, it's tied. But, you know, we had a big discussion yesterday on quarterback salary caps and what the NFL should do and shouldn't do. And my partner, Jason Minix, has been suggesting a separate salary cap or keep the quarterback off of the team salary cap to help out the other players or do what they do. And everybody had an opinion. And I'm going to tell you what, it was interesting. We had this whole millionaires versus billionaires and all of this stuff. And when you look at that list and you see some of those quarterbacks who are simply getting paid by what they may do in the future and not what they have done, it is interesting to me because the money is just flying and it just keeps growing and growing and growing. And of course, we'll get back to the Cowboys. They haven't done anything with Dak Prescott or CeeDee Lamb. Or Micah Parsons, which he's kind of on the back burner, I would assume, at this point in time with those other two guys ready to take care of. But it's been quiet, man, when it comes to the Cowboys. Deadly quiet, and they're not doing anything at this point in time. So it's fascinating to see, and the obviously the owners in the NFL are trying to do something. By the way, I saw something. I'm going to find it, but I'm going to paraphrase that there's a lawsuit. Obviously, the NFL is going through a lawsuit right now with the Sunday ticket. That's happened and apparently has gone to the jury, so we'll see how that plays out. Jerry Jones was a witness, if you will, in that particular trial. There's another one coming up that all stems back from the Lamar Jackson contract negotiations. It's been a lawsuit filed against the NFL because it was determined or thought that at that time the owners were colluding together to stop guaranteed contracts, fully guaranteed contracts. And so a lawsuit was filed. Remember, Deshaun Watson got that, and the owners went nuts. Everybody was mad at Cleveland for doing that with Deshaun Watson. And so Lamar Jackson trying to get a fully guaranteed contract of his own, and the owners were said to collude. So there'll be another lawsuit that the NFL is going to have to deal with coming up. That one will get started here pretty soon. It will be interesting to see how that comes out because these lawsuits can change everything about the NFL and about the way the NFL and the owners do business. And we're talking about quarterback salaries now. If the Lamar Jackson side wins that, you could see salaries fly to the roof. So we'll continue to watch that lawsuit and see how it all plays out. But what happens in a courtroom could certainly affect what happens on the football field. And it's, it's going to be interesting to watch that. And I just saw that today, and I'd forgotten about that, to be totally honest with you, and didn't know that there was a lawsuit filed. But apparently there is, and it's going to get started here pretty damn quick. So we'll see what happens and continue to follow it. Right now, though, it is time for the Headline Blitz.
This is Jason and Joe's Headline Blitz. Two guys, two opinions, never enough time.
It is time for the Headline Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. And I got to tell you what, I don't know what kind of secrets you and your significant other have between each other. What happened during the dating process between you and your significant other. But I feel pretty certain you might not want the entire world to know some of the stories that you had when you were dating and you know, coming up and before you got married and all of that kind of stuff. Well, it's interesting that Kelly Stafford, who happens to be the wife of one Matthew Stafford, who is the quarterback for the Los Angeles Rams, I guess they've been married for about 20 years. According to this article, it says more than 20 years have passed since they started dating while at the University of Georgia. Kelly, on a recent podcast, revealed some details about the start of their relationship and disclosed how difficult it was to get the star Bulldog quarterback to date her. And, of course, she's talking about Matthew Stafford. Well, one of the primary tactics, according to this article in Athlon Sports, was actually dating the backup quarterback at Georgia to make Matthew jealous. And she actually admitted this on a podcast.
Wait, so was he trying to casually date and you were all in?
Yeah, girl. Anyways, long story short, it wasn't that cute of a relationship at first. I hated him. I loved him. I dated the backup to piss him off, which worked.
Yes.
He was like,
that'll do it.
He was the bad boy too. Like Matthew's so sweet and Southern gentleman and all that stuff. And the backup was the complete opposite.
Yeah.
Ooh, and it upset him. So they lived in the same dorm because athletes lived in the same dorm, and he would see my car there. And so at one point he like waited and followed me out and got in my car and wouldn't get out. And he was like,
this is so hot.
I was like, this is amazing. It's working.
Yeah.
I was get out of my car and he was like, he's not right for you. And I was like, what? You can't tell me that.
Wow. Women are vicious, or can be. So she dated the backup quarterback at Georgia at that time to piss off Matthew Stafford. Now, I'm looking at a tweet. I guess it came out after this was disclosed. Some guy that goes by the name of multiple sources at Greg Lawson is, and what he says is Logan Gray is the unnamed backup quarterback that Kelly Stafford is referencing. Interesting. Now, if you're Matthew Stafford, or take Matthew Stafford's name away and just say it's, I don't know, James Pledger. And his wife went on a podcast and said, you know, I used to date James' roommate just to piss him off. Just to piss him off.
Tracks.
I'm just wondering. How wouldn't that, I mean, Matthew Stafford has got to feel like he just had his nuts cut off. I mean, seriously. You talk about like masculating a dude. Wow. Now, I'm sure Matthew knows about this, right? He had to. And I'm sure after 20 years that they probably, I don't know, have talked about this is, yeah, I dated Logan there just to piss you off. And, you know, he was a terrible kisser and there was no Hawk Tuah to it at all. But, I mean, just to admit that on a podcast, I guess you got to be pretty damn comfortable in your relationship to go out and admit that you dated. Now, there was no mention of sleeping, but they dated the backup quarterback just to irritate Matthew Stafford. And then I can only imagine the kind of friction that might have caused in the locker room, for goodness sake. Wow. To go out and admit that just floors me. I mean, I don't know what kind of a conversation you would say. If I walk through the door today and say, Maggie, did you really have to admit that on air? I mean, did you have to say that to the entire world? Because everybody's talking about it today. And obviously, I guess she thinks that's okay. I just have a hard time with that. What do you guys think about that? You think that that's okay to do that? If you're a woman listening, watching, however you're listening to the Blitz today, would you do that to your husband? And husbands, boyfriends, would you feel okay with that? Wow. That just blew me away when I first heard it. And wow. Alexandra on our YouTube channel says, please, men are just as bad. Don't pretend, guys. But I don't know, Alexandra, if I would get on a podcast and say, yeah, honey, I dated your best friend in college just to piss you off, just to make you jealous. Because I have a feeling women would say, then go jump in a lake, pal. You know, men are more softies, aren't they? They're little softies, and they're like, okay, honey, it's okay. It's all right. I know it's a long time ago, and it's okay. I don't want you to leave. Women are like, get out. Go. Get out of here. And leave the dog. Oh, my goodness. I just found that fascinating that she would just go out and tell the entire world that, well, she slept with a backup quarterback or dated the backup quarterback. There was no mention of sleeping with anybody or anything else for that matter.
Well, you know, at least in this opportunity, Matt Stafford could go home and have the leverage to be like, you know what, tonight?
Oh, you got to give him that Hawk Tuah and spit on that thing. You get me?
I don't know if she would do that or not. I mean, wow, 20 years. I'm not sure if that still happens after 20 years. Or I don't know. Is there a year where it's just like, nah, so let's just get on with it. No foreplay. We'll just go. No. Oh, my goodness. Wow. Okay. Well, hey, that's for the Stafford family to figure out. And but it just, I was like, the first time I heard that, I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. Oh, my goodness. That's crazy. Well, I'll give her I know who wears the pants in that family, for goodness sake. You can certainly say, and there's nothing wrong with that. Don't, ladies, don't, you know what I mean? Hey, if you wear the pants in your family, God bless you. That's okay. Because, you know, I'm not going to sit here and say that I do necessarily. We each have a leg in the pants. Can you do that? I mean, I got one leg in. Maggie's got one leg in. How about that? Yeah, props to Mrs. Stafford for having the cojones to admit that. Another story we're following today, and which I think is interesting, and you know, NFL teams doing a lot to try and make money, whatever they can do to make money. The Las Vegas Raiders have come up with something, and I haven't seen this anywhere else on any other football team. I don't know. I haven't seen it. I think this is a first to my knowledge. And I saw this on Outkick. And what they're doing is they've unveiled some incredible tailgating shacks. All right. They've actually put shacks and they're big. They're not shacks. They're obviously very nice, but they can fit 15 people in there. And it's for tailgating. And it's not for going into the game. It doesn't get you a ticket inside, but it's just for tailgating. So you can buy one of these or rent one of these, and the opening price is, get this, $20,000. Now, it does get you all the food and drink you want and a place to tailgate. $20,000. Now, you know, I go out to UTSA football games and tailgate, and people have some pretty nice setups out there and some great food and all of that. But these are really nice. And when I saw them, I mean, they're multi-leveled, and it again holds about 15 people. But $20,000, all the food, all the booze, all of that stuff. Would you do that? And I guess if you had 15 people, and you just wanted an experience, then everybody could pitch in, you know, $1,000 or so, and go to town, have some fun. But then you still got to buy tickets and all the other stuff that goes with that. So you just go out there, spend your $20,000, get drunk, then walk inside, and you're good to go. You don't have to pay for a $15 beer once you get inside. But I found that pretty interesting as well. And the other thing we're following is there's an article today on Pro Football Talk that says the Chiefs, the Kansas City Chiefs, seem to be warming to the idea of moving to Kansas City, Kansas. Right now they're in Kansas City, Missouri, but we've talked about it here on the Blitz that, the voters there voted down public funds to improve Arrowhead Stadium. And it didn't sit well, I guess, with the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, the folks in Kansas City, Kansas have voted on this thing, and they're open to the idea of building them a stadium and doing all that stuff. And it, according to this article on ProFootballTalk.com, the Chiefs seem to be warming up to the idea of moving to Kansas. Another story, boy, that we've got to continue to follow, because they'd still be the Kansas City Chiefs. That wouldn't change, but they'd just be in Kansas instead of Missouri. Now, what's going to be interesting to see there, if that is true, and if the Chiefs are just floating that out there to say, hey, Missouri, you better step up, do something. Because, look, if the Kansas City Chiefs, who have gone to 4 Super Bowls in the Patrick Mahomes era and won 3 of them, if they could threaten to move, who couldn't? And if you'd let them get away, you'd let anybody get away. It's interesting, and it's going to be interesting to follow, so we will continue that. But I'm still baffled by Matthew Stafford's wife. That's just nuts. Women are vicious. You women are vicious out there, completely vicious. Oh, my goodness. All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, the NBA offseason 2024, ESPN Plus has got franchise overhaul tiers where they list what they think are title contenders right now or teams that are in full rebuild. And I found it fascinating. We'll go over that list when we continue here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. First of all, I want to tell you about Stevens Roofing. Look, we've had some rain. There's been some storms in the area, but it's about to get hot. Hot, hot, hot. Makes everything uncomfortable. Everything gets hot, including your roof. The sun that beats down on it day after day after day. And, well, it can do some damage to your roof. Look, summertime, storms, whatever the case may be, you need the number of a good roofer and somebody that you can trust, somebody that's reliable, somebody that is going to get the job done. That's Stevens Roofing. They've been in business here in San Antonio and South Texas for many, many years. They're not going anywhere, and you don't stay in business as long as they have if you're not doing the job right. They work on both residential and commercial projects. Stevens Roofing is absolutely the best in the business. So if you're in the market for repairs, a replacement roof, an upgrade, work with that experienced team that brings local roots, value, and a vast knowledge of their craft to every job. That is Stevens Roofing. Remember their phone number. It's 210-785-0994. You can also get them online at stevensroofing.net. But remember Stevens Roofing, the best in the business, 210-785-0994.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hi, I'm attorney Steve Benke. If you've made the decision to divorce, you need an experienced attorney who can help. I've helped many people get through divorce, custody, child support, and alimony problems. Call me. I'm attorney Steve Benke.
210-DIVORCE or go to BenkeLaw.com.
Testosterone levels in men can start to decrease as early as 30 years old, and long-term health risks can be extremely damaging to your body. Rock's Discount Vitamins carries a variety of natural testosterone boosters that can immediately provide you with more energy, increased libido, increased metabolism, and improve your mood. Rock's Discount Vitamins natural testosterone boosters can even help you build muscle and lose weight faster. With 11 San Antonio locations, visit rocksdiscountvitamins.com. Thanking God and South Texas for all the support.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-5407. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-5407. That's 800-575-5407. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
So my home is also my office. And before I can focus, every room's gotta be clean. That means tidying up and spraying my Febreze Air Mist. Ooh, that's fresh. Febreze Air Mist scents are all high quality. They fight any weird funk, and they give my air an instant boost of freshness. So not only does my home smell good, I feel good too. After I Febreze, it's time to start my day.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
Okay, we've got an hour to clean both cars. Grab the buckets.
Cool.
I picked up some 303. Their aerospace protectant is awesome. So we're going to try some of their other stuff. Grab me that bottle of wash.
Whoa, that smells amazing.
Yeah, that citrus is nice. Okay, now hand me the hose.
Hey!
I don't see a bucket yet.
303 Car Care, driven by quality. Available at most auto retailers and Amazon.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Join the free smoothie party at Tropical Smoothie Cafe on June 21st for National Smoothie Day. We're treating our Tropic Rewards members to a free smoothie with bowl or food purchase. Order an app, online, or pop by the cafe for a little sip and chill. 3 cheers to our Tropic fam. Terms and conditions apply.
I want to learn how to cook, but I keep ordering takeout.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel will help you start having conversations in as little as 3 weeks. Words and phrases you'll actually use. So when someone asks, "How's your French going?" you can say,
Babbel facilite grandement l'apprentissage d'une nouvelle langue.
Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Do you have multiple years of unfiled taxes or owe more than $8,000? The tax attorneys at Allies Tax Relief are your ally and will stop the IRS from garnishing your wages or levying your bank account. Call 800-230-5174.
This is Jim Rome. Join me weekdays at noon, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Thank you, Jim. It is San Antonio Sports Star. This is the Blitz here on 94.1. I'm Joe Reinagel. Jason Minix, he's on vacation, getting a little R&R. James Pledger is here, pushing the buttons, making the music, and doing all that kind of stuff. And we appreciate you being here, however you are listening today, whether that's on YouTube. We appreciate that. Like and subscribe our YouTube channel if you would, please. If you're listening on the radio, thank you very much for doing that, or however you are listening today. Thank you. For spending a little time with us on your Friday afternoon. Hope everybody had a great week. Looking forward to the weekend. I certainly am doing that, and I hope you are as well. You know, it's funny because we're talking about Matthew Stafford's wife. We get a lot of comments on the YouTube channel, and when I said women are vicious, it's funny. Alexandra said, "We're vicious. You ought to see all the comments from the men," and she's absolutely right. So I have to revise that perhaps when it comes to that. It baffles me how she just went out there and said, "Yeah, this is what I did." Boom. I tell you what, that takes a pretty strong marriage, I guess. I don't know, but it certainly wow. I don't even know what to say about it all. It's just crazy to go out there and admit that you kind of manipulated your husband or then boyfriend. I don't know. Interesting, but she can do that, and that is fantastic. So props to Mrs. Stafford in what she's doing. I wanted to get to an ESPN Plus article that is talking about the tiers of the NBA. And I found it fascinating because obviously San Antonio fits into this, but what ESPN Plus and the writers there think are the teams that are ready to contend and win a championship now, and those that are just a move away, those that are in a full rebuild. And I found it fascinating because when you look at the list, a lot of this stuff I think is maybe obvious, maybe common sense, but they talk about the Boston Celtics, and they say they are the only, according to ESPN Plus, the only team in the NBA that is a true title contender. Now think about that for a minute. Because we talk about all the other teams, right? We have the Dallas Mavericks. We know they're at least a player away. The Denver Nuggets still have a pretty good team. The Oklahoma City Thunder, who made a big trade yesterday to improve their team. And I think they got the better end of that team, at least for now anyway, in the immediate future. But that remains to be seen. But the only true title contender they have there is the Boston Celtics. Their next tier is a tier that they call one move away. They've got the Dallas Mavericks at the top of that list. I would agree with that. They need another scorer and somebody that might be able to play a semblance, just a little bit of defense. That would be nice. They're one move away, according to ESPN Plus. The Denver Nuggets, one move away. And I'm wondering, what move are they away? What do they need? Now, according to this article, they need a 3-and-D wing who can command attention. That's what they say they need. The Minnesota Timberwolves, again, also in this tier, as are the Oklahoma City Thunder. On the fringes with big upside. That's how they label this tier. The New York Knicks head that list. Philadelphia 76ers are there as well. Only two teams right there on the fringes with big upside. Now, the next tier, they label this as they are who they are. Now, I'm not exactly sure what they mean by that, but they've got some big name teams in there, and it starts with the LA Clippers. It's going to be interesting to see what happens to the Clippers if they do lose Paul George. And there has been talk about that Paul George could be off somewhere. Remains to be seen, but we'll see. But they're a team, and certainly if they lose a Paul George, I think they fall below this. They are who they are. LA Lakers are in there. You know, J.J. Redick was named their head coach and good friends with LeBron James. And I'm not sure that the Lakers, I'm not sure what to make of the Lakers, I guess is what I should say. Because, yes, they've got LeBron James if he decides to stay there. They've got some players. But I just don't know if those players are they, you know, LeBron certainly is getting over the hill. And the other guys, I just don't know if they have enough. And do they have any money left to go out and get somebody? Now, the whole Trae Young thing, when we told you yesterday, after J.J. Redick was hired, Trae Young sends out that cryptic tweet, and all it had on it was an hourglass. J.J. Redick has spoken very highly of Trae Young. So it looks like, Spurs fans, at least at this point, if you had to pick a landing spot for a Trae Young, should Atlanta end up dealing him, it looks like it would go to the LA Lakers at this point in time. We'll see how that plays out. I can't wait for the draft. I can't wait. The Milwaukee Bucks are in this list. The Phoenix Suns are also in this list. And obviously with their new head coach there as well, Mike Budenholzer, and what is he going to do? Now, the next level is emerging playoff threats. Teams that I guess are on the fringe, but that could make some noise when it comes to the playoffs. The Cleveland Cavaliers, a lot of questions there. What are they going to do with their two guards? Donovan Mitchell, one, and then, of course, Darius Garland, who a lot of Spurs fans would like to see in a Spurs uniform. I wouldn't mind seeing that at all, to be quite honest with you. The Indiana Pacers, who wrapped up Pascal Siakam, that was good for them. They still need some defense. They've got all the offense they want, but they need some defense. The Pelicans are in this list. The Magic are in this list, which I heard today are going to be players. They could very well be players in the free agent market. We'll see how that plays out. Big names, big money, big questions. Golden State, Miami, party crashers, Houston, Memphis, and then stuck in neutral, Atlanta, Brooklyn, Chicago, and then rebuilding around a star. And, of course, that's where the San Antonio Spurs fit. Charlotte Hornets fit in that category too, as do the Toronto Raptors and the Utah Jazz. The Detroit Pistons, they're just basically throw them in the trash. That's not what they said. They said starting at square one, the Detroit Pistons and the Portland Trail Blazers, along with the Washington Wizards. But I found that list fascinating because do you agree with it? I mean, are those the teams that you're looking and rebuilding around a star where the San Antonio Spurs are is fascinating. Obviously, they're doing that around Victor Wembanyama, but how are they going to do that, and what are they going to do? That's going to be interesting. And all of these questions will begin to be answered next Wednesday when the NBA draft takes place. And all the speculating will go away. All the, I think they're going to do this and they might do that, or sources say this and sources say that, because I really believe most people at this point in time are just throwing spaghetti up against the wall because nobody has a clue. So I can't wait to see what direction the Spurs are going to go in, and it will kind of give us a roadmap, I believe, as to what their intentions are with Wemby, whether it's going to be a slow rebuild or it's going to be a little bit faster. Remains to be seen, but I like the list, and it's interesting that they only have the Boston Celtics there that are getting, true title contenders. That's it. Everybody else needs at least one piece to get it done. Well, speaking of true title contenders, the Texas A&M Aggies, their baseball team, true title contenders. Yeah, they are there. They're going to be playing for a national championship against a very good Tennessee squad, and it all begins tomorrow night. The voice of the Texas A&M Aggies, Andrew Monaco. He'll join us next right here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. First, though, I want to talk to you about the Golf Club of Texas. Look, if you haven't been out to the Golf Club of Texas lately, you have not been out to the Golf Club of Texas. That place is improving every day. Every single day. They're putting in brand new golf carts, paths. They're putting in new sod all over the place. And with all of this rain, you know the Golf Club of Texas is going to be plush and pristine. Make plans to get out there and do it this weekend. Look, it's not a private club, but it certainly feels like one. Open to the public 7 days a week. Golf Club of Texas offers some of the best course conditions in town with the friendliest staff. That is absolutely true. You're going to be treated like royalty when you go out to the Golf Club of Texas. Let me tell you about the food. They have a great family-friendly restaurant called the Tin Cup. Look, even if you're not a golfer, you can take the family out there. You can hang out with your friends. It's the best sit-down restaurant in that part of San Antonio, and it's not going to break the bank to take the family out to eat. They've also got a lighted driving range that's open till 10 o'clock every night. Take the family out, have dinner, hit some balls, let the kids run around and have some fun. It's a great place to go. It's the Golf Club of Texas right there at Briggs Ranch Road off Highway 90. For dinner at the Tin Cup, around with your buddies, your next tournament, go check them out. Best rates always online at golfclubtexas.com. That's golfclubtexas.com. The Golf Club of Texas, the friendliest golf course in Texas.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Monday on the Morning Huddle, are the Aggies standing supreme or do they need another game? We'll talk about it.
And finally, it's draft week in San Antonio. We'll see what the latest is with the Spurs. Morning Huddle, 94.1 starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Morning 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone. I went through it a while back. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text. Text KICK to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text KICK to 42424. That's KICK to 42424.
Products and statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or illness.
The Ace Superhero Comic Con presented by Thomas J. Henry is coming June 20th to the 23rd. Meet Star Trek's Chris Pine, Spider-Man Far From Home star Jake Gyllenhaal, Pirates of the Caribbean's Orlando Bloom, Star Wars Diego Luna, She-Hulk's Tatiana Maslany, and the Marvels Aman Vellani. Plus, the Supermen, Ghostbusters Ernie Hudson, and Arrow's Stephen Amell and David Ramsey. Get your event passes now at pmxevents.com. That's pmxevents.com.
We're going abroad for the first time in years, to Spain. So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free at babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Injuries happen, and when they do, skip the ER and get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, and strains. Conveniently located in the Corey area with extended hours Monday through Saturday with on-site x-ray casting and bracing, Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, and best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. Learn more online at tsaog.com.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Ready for the ultimate outdoor adventure? 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star has your chance to win a getaway to Telluride, Colorado. Your prize package includes airfare and luxurious hotel accommodations for 2, plus thrilling expeditions like fly fishing, kayaking, ATV rides, and more. And it could be all yours. Enter once per day at sasportstar.com. You must be 18 or older to play. This is an Alpha Media company-wide contest. One winner will be chosen. Complete rules at sasportstar.com. Don't miss out on the adventure of a lifetime. Enter now at sasportstar.com.
This is the home of the Aggies. This is Andrew Monaco. You're locked on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
We are the home of the Texas A&M Aggies, and they're playing for some big stakes this weekend in Omaha, Nebraska, playing for a college baseball national title against Big Bad Tennessee. It ought to be a lot of fun, and it all starts tomorrow with game 1 of that best-of-3 set, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And the guy that's been there the entire week has called the games for the Texas A&M Aggies is our good friend Andrew Monaco, joining us courtesy of the Buyers Barricade guest line. And Andrew, how much fun have you been having this week?
This has been a blast, right? The 8 best teams, they're all here. Fans from every place, they are here. Baseball fans in general, Joe. Youth teams are here because they have tournaments around. 25,000 a night, no matter who's playing. It's such a wonderful atmosphere. And I heard what you did there. For you to say steaks and Omaha, well done, my friend.
So I take it you've had a few steaks while you've been there.
You better believe it. If you're coming here, you better give me a fork and a really, really good knife.
That's outstanding. Now, Andrew, the Aggies obviously have been playing well. What has really been their secret to success? Because when you look at this team, they've been riddled with injury problems, but they've overcome that. And what would you say has been the main factor in all their success?
While they have been here, Joe, it's been the pitching has been outstanding. To get here, it was that lineup with a combination of improved pitching from last season. But while they have been here, they have gotten 2 excellent starts from Justin Lampkin, and those 2 were against the Florida Gators. And then Ryan Prager did something that no Texas A&M pitcher had done before. He took a no-hitter, 2 outs into the 7th inning before he came out. And then the revelation was Josh Stewart in 2 games. He didn't pitch at all in this postseason, not in the regional nor in the super regional. When you have Christopher Cortez as your bridge guy, and you've got the stopper of the year in Evan Aschenbeck, who is really just down the road in Brenham, Texas. He's a kid who played at Blinn Junior College, Brenham High School, which is a great baseball school, and now at A&M. They've only given up 3 runs in these games. And, Joe, they've never trailed here in the College World Series. So that was it. Getting here, though, before the injuries, it was as long a lineup as you could possibly have. And I would dare say, as good a lineup as Tennessee. They don't hit the number of home runs that Tennessee does, but they set a record this year for Texas A&M did for the most home runs as a team in the season. What they've done, though, without Braden Montgomery, who will be a first-round pick, what they've done without their number 2 starter, Shane Sadeo, and that's Justin Lampkin coming in for him, has really been something. That's been the revelation while they've been here, is that the pitching has been outstanding, and the hitting has been absolutely opportunistic. When they have an opportunity to score, Joe, they've been putting runs on the board. And again, playing from ahead is way better than having to come from behind against teams like Florida and Kentucky.
You know, I think that's a great point, Andrew, when you talk about timely hitting. Any championship team, whether it's baseball, football, name the sport, you got to get that timely bucket, that timely catch, that timely hit. And that's what the Aggies have been doing. It's really been impressive that in the clutch, they've done what they've needed to do.
Yeah, and they have such a good understanding of the strike zone, Joe, and that's a combination of Jim Schlossnagle and Michael Early is the hitting coach for this team. That understanding means, and I know it sounds simplistic, but baseball fans are going to shake their head up and down. You swing at strikes. You can't swing at pitches outside of the strike zone. So here's the other thing. The runs that they get, the first 2 runs that they get on Wednesday in that deciding game against Florida are walks. There were 4 walks in that first inning, and then Florida had to take out their starting pitcher. So your first run comes on a bases loaded walk. That allows a sacrifice fly to bring in your second run. You're playing with the lead. They'll make you pay for those free bases. And I think defensively for them, they're not giving more than 27 outs, Joe. That's the big thing. Can you make those plays, those timely plays? Obviously, the Jay Slaviolette catch in right field seals that Saturday/Sunday win. And that is the spectacular play. But he has himself in that position. They've made some really great plays on defense, and I think that's also been a key. But this lineup, because it's a combination of a freshman leading off, and at this time of year, freshmen aren't freshmen any longer. They've played in too many games. But between that, Jace, your guys in the middle of this lineup are all transfers, Joe, that have played for 4 years somewhere else, whether it's been at Michigan for Ted Burton or Pennsylvania for Jackson Appel. Hayden Schott played at Columbia. All those games, all that experience, I think, matters. And then when you buy in to that offensive philosophy, it's what makes this lineup such a long lineup and really hard for other pitchers to take a breath and say, I can get this guy. I just think they put pressure on you 1 through 9.
You know, Andrew, and we're visiting with Andrew Monaco, the voice of the Texas A&M Aggies. Andrew, when you look at both of these teams, it's been obviously, and correct me if I'm wrong, Texas A&M has never been to this point in baseball.
Correct.
And Tennessee,
Correct.
It's been since what, 1959? It's been a long time.
And they've never won a title either.
Yeah.
It has. Yeah, and it's fascinating too. Tony Vitello, you'll hear this story over the course of the weekend. Tony Vitello, the head coach of Texas. Jim Schlossnagle had him as an assistant coach. He was an assistant coach with Dave Van Horn in Arkansas. Great recruiter, and there's no mistake why he has a good program. Joe, you know, those recruiters are the ones that have the pulse of all the players, right? They know what they're getting, and they help build those teams for the other head coaches. And what he's done at Tennessee is this probably is, I have no problem saying this, the best lineup in college baseball. They can flat out slug. Now, they play in a smaller ballpark at home, finding out that Omaha can't contain this team either. They can hit home runs here as well. But they also have that pitching. Jim Schlossnagle, Texas A&M, thinks Tennessee is the most complete team that is here. And there's a lot of talent that was here in Omaha. But you know what? You're talking about, this was a Tennessee team that 2 years ago was the #1 overall seed. They never even got to Omaha, and they know about the curse. Joe, not since 99 has the top overall seed. That was Miami win it all. Every #1 seed failed to win the title, and Tennessee want to break that. 2 years ago, look, I'm going to say this, with all the antics and the hijinks that they had, they were kind of the villains of college baseball. And I didn't think they wore that mantle very well. They didn't realize that, okay, you have to have a special makeup to take everybody's best shot every single game, not just on the weekends. You're taking everybody's best shot midweek and in the postseason, and people like to watch you fail. They've dialed it back a little bit. What they haven't dialed back is the absolute talent that they have. Tony Vitello has done a wonderful job there at Tennessee in the time that he has been there. And I dare say Jim Schlossnagle is doing the same. 3 years here at Texas A&M, second time to Omaha. This is his first time. He took TCU here 5 times. This is his first time getting to the final weekend. And I know that's been something that he's looked forward to, but he gives all the credit to his players. That's for sure.
Well, I tell you what, it's been an exciting story. No question about it, watching the Aggies and seeing their success. Now, a lot of people have asked me if they met in the SEC. They only met in the tournament, correct? Tennessee actually won that game. So that's the only meeting of the year for these two teams.
Yeah, it was the Aggies went there. Here's what's weird with all the coaches. And Tennessee, look, they won it. They did well. But those top 4 seeds, Joe, they get a double bye. So they did not have to play until Wednesday. All 4 of those seeds lost and ended up in another loser's bracket game, if you will. But for the Aggies, they just needed – Jim Schlossnagle knew what he got. He knew he was going to get a top 8 seed. And, Joe, that gives you the right to host a regional. And if you advance, you get to host the super regional. He got what he wanted. So he was able to throw Ryan Prager on his same day. He stayed on his routine. He never did throw Shane Sedale, and he got a chance to see some other pitchers. It's not an excuse. It was a 7-4 game for Tennessee, winning that game. But the Aggies, it was more all hands on deck, more of an opener, and seeing these pitchers. Competition always kicks in. That's what happens there. But talking with the legendary coach Ron Polk, who was at Mississippi State, he said 30 years ago he got himself in trouble with the SEC because he said, this tournament's not important. Next Friday, the regional, that's what's important. They got mad at him a little bit. Ron Polk won the national championship that year. That's what Tony Vitello was doing at Tennessee, what Dave Van Horn was doing at Arkansas, what Tony Mingione has done at Kentucky. Those top four seeds, only Arkansas didn't make it to Omaha. Joe, they knew what they were doing, having their teams prepared for the postseason. But no, it was a 7-4 win for Tennessee, and that was on a Thursday at Hoover. It actually eliminated the Aggies, who then had until that next Friday for the first game of the regional against Grambling.
Interesting stuff, I tell you. And obviously that means absolutely nothing going into this weekend. I mean, that was a game that was, as they say, Andrew, you can throw that out the window. It means absolutely nothing when they hit the field on Saturday night.
Well, but here's my, playing Florida, right? We didn't play Kentucky this year. And it's because you play the West and you rotate your opponents in the East. Well, Florida was one of those teams that the Aggies played. It was the first weekend of the SEC. Florida took 2 out of 3. Great job by the Gators, right? They're the last team into the tournament. Aggies play them twice. They beat them twice here in Omaha. Season series goes to Texas A&M 3-2. You're right. The 2 most important games, the Aggies were able to get past them. These guys are too good, Joe. The coaching in college baseball, and this is someone from 30 years ago, Joe, when I was in minor league baseball. Minor league baseball and college baseball were at odds. The bats were completely different. It wasn't the same coaching. There's a reason why minor league teams or pro teams wanted to get their hands on 18-year-olds because they wanted to teach them the pro way. There are so many good coaches now, Joe, in college baseball that when you play 3 years, and I don't care where, if you pitch for Dave Van Horn for 3 years, you're ready. Paul Skeens at LSU, he's ready pitching. And it's the competition is the talent, but I also think it's the fewer rounds in the draft and these guys being more prepared. You see now Major League Baseball embracing more of college baseball. I think it's the coaching, it's the competition. And Jim Schlossnagle will say this: you're a first or second rounder, you go to the pros. You're getting life-changing money. If you're not, for 3 years, you're going to get all this coaching. You're going to get this competition. You're going to play in better stadiums than you could possibly play in A ball, even double A ball. You're going to play in better stadiums, better conditions. You're going to travel better. You're going to eat better. You're going to lift better. And that's what he's done with young players like Jace Laviolette and Gavin Grahovac. I'm just naming two of them. And Gavin just said, look, he was a possible top five round pick in Major League Baseball. Took his name out to come to Texas A&M. Once you do that, you're committed for 3 years.
Wow.
I guarantee you, in 2 more years, Gavin Grahovac is going to be like Braden Montgomery this year, Jace Laviolette next year. Gavin in 2 years is going to be a first-round pick. That's the kind of talent that's coming all across college baseball. That's why this is so special. You see the best 8 teams with some of the best players in the nation.
I think it's fascinating, and certainly going to the College World Series is a bucket list item for me as we visit with Andrew Monaco, the voice of the Texas A&M Aggies. But it begs the question, Andrew, and I'm sure you've taken notice or it's been pointed out, how many scouts are in the seats for each and every one of these games?
Yeah, it's a ton. And Joe, I think their minds are made up. Not going to lie, like they've seen enough, but I think you get one last look, and maybe more than anything, when you're all here, you get a chance because all the coaches are here too. This is just like the Final Four, where all the coaches descend. Whether if the Final Four is in San Antonio, you better believe every NCAA college basketball coach is there. You get a chance now to not only talk to your own coaches, you can talk to some other coaches about what they feel about this kid that you're going to draft, or maybe this is a nice little late push for some of these guys that maybe they move up. Maybe they were a 10th rounder, but they catch somebody's eye, maybe a 5th rounder. Every team is here, Joe, for for scouts who are here, all the coaches being here. So there's a whole lot of information that you can get. But for me, I truly believe at some point you're going to make up your mind. I don't think a kid can hurt himself. I should say that. Even if he gets injured or doesn't have a great week, I think your mind's made up. But there are some guys that may catch a team's eye and may move up a little bit more if they like the situation that he's pitching in or hitting in, something like that. But for me, you know where you're picking. Teams know, they have an idea. If they have a shot at Braden Montgomery, they're going to get them. Braden's not going to drop because he's injured right now. This isn't, if you needed Braden Montgomery for 2 weeks, you don't pick him. That's a 15-year major league decision you're about to make. You're going to take Braden Montgomery, get him healthy and play. So, but they're all here. And Joe, also, I think they're looking for some diamonds in the rough. That 15th, 16th, 17th round pick that you can put in your system and you say you can develop. Yeah, they're all here. And why not? You've got 10 days to watch all these guys play. It's right on this stage. You just have the best seat and you can evaluate all you want.
Well, I tell you what, Andrew, people are going to be jealous of the scout seats and your seat. I'm looking at an article here today of the amount of money it's costing fans to go to this series that begins this weekend there in Omaha, Nebraska. According to an article in Outkick, it's saying that Thursday, or let's see, $500 just to sit in the right field stands. And if you want third or first base lines, you're looking at anywhere from $500 all the way up to $1,100. It is a big draw. And the question I have for you, Andrew, as you go and all the other teams are gone, they're out, it's just Texas A&M and Tennessee, the crowds there, I would imagine, have not changed at all.
No. And again, because this place flat out embraces it. And Joe, I think you said something. The more you watch this, I think baseball fans say just what you say. Let's go there. This is a bucket list team. Even if our team's not there, I don't think you need to even have a rooting interest. I don't think it matters which 8 teams are here. I think it's that type of event. Hey, let's go watch this. And I say that as an event. Now, is Tennessee going to travel because they're here this weekend? Better believe it. You know that they're coming up I-35. They're coming up from Bryan College Station of all of Texas, right? They're all getting here because they waited. But I talked to our people, our ticket people said, we're clean out. That's it. There's no more. That even if you want a standing room, that's starting at like $80 and $100.
Wow.
To get in here. Yeah, I just think it's such a great showcase, Joe. We talk about the talent and the competition and all of that. That's what you've got. I mean, think about that. The first 2 days, last Friday and Saturday, you're talking about 3 walk-offs, and the fourth game was the catch over the wall by Jace Laviolette in the 9th. That's how this entire tournament starts. Then you know you're in for those special moments. But I think it appeals to the baseball fan, Joe. Just what you said. Hey, I need to go there. I think you would have a blast. I feel the same way. I feel fortunate to be here, being a baseball fan, going through minor league baseball and all that, and being here. This is just something that's great. And I know when it's all over and I'm not doing it anymore, I'll probably make my way back here to take this in once again.
Well, we'll make a trip together. How about that, Andrew? We'll make it a boys trip and just go have some fun. Can't wait. Hopefully there's some special moments this weekend for the Aggies, and you guys can bring a trophy back home to Texas and just make everybody happy. Can't wait. Andrew, we appreciate your time, my friend. Have a great time. And again, best of luck to the Aggies.
Always a pleasure, my friends. You know that. Thank you very much.
Andrew Monaco, the voice of the Texas A&M Aggies, appearing courtesy of the Buyers Barricade guest line. Buyers Barricades provides traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond. Online at buyersbarricades.com. My goodness. I tell you what, I don't have FOMO very often when it comes to colleagues and people that are calling stuff and doing stuff. But, man, it would be fun to be Andrew Monaco this weekend, getting right there in the booth and calling the action for the Texas A&M Aggies. I tell you what, it couldn't happen to a nicer guy. He is certainly one of the best in the business and one of the best human beings there is on this planet. All right, we got to take a break after all of that. When we come back, I got to tell you about my day. Do you mind? Because it's been up and it's been down. I'm going to tell you all about it. And plus, we'll get into some draft stuff and all of that. But I just got to get some things off my chest. We'll do that when the Blitz continues right here on San Antonio Sports Star 94.1.
You're listening to The Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6, KTFM Floresville. And everywhere at sasportstar.com.
You know, nobody ever plans on getting arrested, but it does happen to a lot of people every day for all kinds of reasons. If you get arrested, you want to get out of jail fast. Best way to do that? Call my good friend Albert and his great staff at AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747, or you can start the bonding process online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else to get out of jail, and you don't want to be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you a PR bond, make sure you truly understand what all those conditions are before accepting it. Your best option for stress-free bail bonds is AA Best Bail Bonds, because nobody beats their price. They offer payment plans, have a free shuttle service. They are discreet and confidential and open 24/7 with offices all over San Antonio and Texas, services nationwide. If you're up in Dallas, down in Corpus, anywhere in between, license number 149, call AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121, or go online at mybestbailbonds.com.
You know, living here in San Antonio and South Texas, a water softener is almost a requirement. The water is hard. You know this. It affects your appliances and all of that kind of stuff. And the best water softener to buy is a Connecticut quality water softener. Connecticut's been serving San Antonio for over 50 years. They're made in America, up to 80% more efficient than competing models. Got a simple design, fewer moving parts, and the best thing about it is there's nothing to plug in. And there won't be an increase in your electric bill. Connecticut quality water softeners are the best in the business, and right now they have got the best deal for you. Connecticut is going to let you try a quality water softener in your home for 90 days, absolutely free with no contract. Call them today. 656-PURE. That's 656-7873 or ConnecticutSA.com. You know the jingle. Sing it with me. Connecticut, the last water softener you'll ever own. Call 656-PURE. Connecticut.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Progressive presents good news, bad news, dumb news, then great news. Good news. Your coworker Kyle said bundling home and auto insurance with Progressive could save you money. Bad news. While saying this, Kyle was eating your clearly labeled lunch. Dumb news. Pizza near work costs $7 a slice, and it tastes like drywall covered in ketchup. Great news. You decide to see if you could save money bundling at Progressive.com and enjoy more lunches far away from Kyle. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-5407. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-5407. That's 800-575-5407. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that is MediShare. Maybe you've heard switching to MediShare to pay for healthcare can save many families up to $500 a month, and that is huge. But it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The member satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. MediShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years. Members have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now. You'll get a price within 2 minutes. So see what you can save. This is a very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. Call 844-43-BIBLE. That's 844-43-BIBLE. 844-43-BIBLE.
94.1 FM. San Antonio's Sports Star. San Antonio's Sports Center.
Well, we just talked about it, but it's worth talking about again. The Texas A&M Aggies will face the top-seeded Tennessee Volunteers Men's College World Series Final. It all begins tomorrow night. You can catch it over on San Antonio's ESPN AM 1250, beginning at 6:15 with the pregame show. And the Cowboys looking at the UFL again. They signed a couple of guys already in Willie Harvey Jr. and Gary and Conley. But how about Derek Roberson from Brennan High School?
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas Authority in Barricade Rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the third time in 7 seasons. The San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Hi, everybody. First and foremost, this is the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Joe Reinagel. Jason Minix is on vacation, and James Pledger is back there where he always is. I don't think James ever leaves there. Every now and then you see him at the Roof Pub, or maybe even on the golf course. Other than that, I think he lives in that glass box of fun where he is right now, punching buttons and making music and all of that kind of stuff. So I was just laughing. Fred Records, is that how you say that, I think, on our YouTube channel, talking about my singing sounds better on the Connecticut commercial than live. I don't know whatever you've ever seen me sing live, but if you have, you're welcome.
You've done the spot live.
No, I'm talking about singing live.
Yeah.
Oh.
You've done the, the jingle.
Sing. Okay, I got you. So it sounds
Call
better
656 pure Connecticut. You've
pledge.
ended.
How about that?
You've ended the spot live like that.
All right. I wasn't sure. I thought maybe heard me at a karaoke bar, or, something like that. And if he had, you're welcome, Fred.
No, I think he's saying, did they use auto-tune on the commercial because you sound better?
No. You know, I don't want to brag, Fred. You know, I don't. My singing voice is spectacular. Spectacular. But, you know, I don't want to brag. So I kind of make it sound a little worse than it is. And so that's why I do it. You know, maybe one day I'll sing a little opera or something in here and treat you all to a nice, I don't know, a George Strait song or who knows?
Please,
you know,
no.
you just never know.
If you do, let me know when you're going to do that so I can, take a vacation day that day.
Take the day off. Absolutely. I will see. That's why I won't tell you that, because you'd have to be here to suffer like everybody else. But no, I if you haven't been to our YouTube channel, you need to go over there. It's a nice little community. It really is. And subscribe and like our YouTube page. We appreciate that. But if you're listening on the radio, man, we appreciate you as well. And however you're listening, thank you very much for doing so and spending a little bit of your Friday with us here on the Blitz on San Antonio Sports Star. Man, it's been a great show. It really has. And I love talking with Andrew Monaco. He was just on with us, the voice of the Texas A&M Aggies, talking about the Aggies and their best of 3 series that they've got with Tennessee coming up beginning tomorrow night for the national championship in college baseball. It's just that you got the draft coming up. You got, football's right around the corner. Even though it is kind of the dog days of summer, man, I tell you what, there's always something. And this is no different than anything else. But I got to tell you this, because my day has kind of been a roller coaster ride. It really has. And just indulge me, if you will, for a minute, because it gets better. It's got a happy ending. And I use that term loosely with what we're going to end this segment with. But however, I wake up this morning and it's a great day because it's my anniversary. Been married 3 years to Maggie, who just the best thing that's ever happened to me. So do that. But last night, this all kind of started last night. I'm driving home here from the radio station, and that little I hate it. I hate it when it's on that little button that tells you your tires are low, right? And then it'll show you which tire's low. So for me, it was the right front passenger side tire that was low. And I thought, well, heck, that's kind of strange because, I just got that tire fixed. Last Friday, I'm driving home from the Bluebonnet Palace where I was enjoyed the Kingdom Collapse concert, which was fantastic. But as I'm leaving there, I must have run over a nail or something. So that Saturday morning, I get up and I take it to discount tire, and they put a plug in it. And everything was hunky-dory, no problem, until I'm driving home last night, and it happened. So I quite frankly expected to wake up and have a flat tire this morning. Didn't happen. I had enough air in that tire to get it back to discount tire. And, I take it over there, and the guy, he says, well, did you run over another nail? So they're checking the tire to make sure there's nothing else in there. And he says, let me check the plug. And he squirts this water on it, and you can see bubbles coming out. And he said, oh, that's where it is. That's where it's that. And he said, I can't put a bigger plug in there because, we just can't do that. I said, you're going to need a new tire, most likely. I said, well, that's great. I said, well, let me take it to the dealership. We put some air in it. They did. I took it down to the dealership. The guy. So right before I get to work, he calls me and says, hey, Joe, your car's ready. And I'm like, wait a minute. So you're supposed to call me and tell me how much it's going to cost for the tire, and then I can decide. But he didn't, because he said, when I dropped it off, he said, look, if we can patch it up, we'll do that. Or if you need a new tire, I'll give you a call with prices and yada, yada, yada. Well, he didn't do that. So I'm thinking, wow. He said, the good news is, Joe, you were smart enough when you purchased this car that you bought the tire insurance. So this tire, brand new, is only going to cost you $50. Beautiful. Fantastic.
It's a great thing about discount tire.
Well, it wasn't discount tire. It was the dealership that I had to take the car to. So, and I love discount tire. Don't get me wrong. I do. But if I've got that, so I'll use it. But as I'm driving over here, before I got that bit of good news, I'm driving down Wurzbach Parkway. And as I'm going down Wurzbach Parkway, one of the lanes is shut down. So everybody has to move over, right? But I don't know if you guys are like me. And I try to stay pretty calm in traffic. I'm not one of these guys that's going to flip people off or yell at them or whatever the case may be. But I'm driving it, and I'm going to be nice, and I'm going to let one guy in, right? You kind of intermingle as you let people in. But you get these guys that come beside you, and like three of them, and they know damn good and well the lane's closed. But instead of trying to squeeze in where they can, they come up there, and then they want me to let them in. Like it's like two or three. I don't want to be a donkey about it, but it's like, dude, I already let somebody in. I'm not letting you in either. And so it's kind of irritating. So I was just kind of in a bad mood. The phone call that I got from the dealership kind of let that go away, cheered me up, and I was okay. And then we're sitting in here getting ready for the show. And Pledge and another guy that I won't name come in here and say, Joe, have you heard about this Hawk Tuah Girl? And I'm like, I think I've heard something about it. I don't know what the hell it means. I don't know what it is, and I haven't seen it. So they show it to me. And I'm like, whoa, what this is weird. Some random dude out interviewing just like a man on the street kind of thing goes up to this girl and says something to the effect of,
What's one move in bed that makes a man go crazy every time?
You gotta give him that Hawk Tuah and spit on that thing. You get me?
You know what? You know what I love about that girl is that she is energetic, to say the least.
You gotta give him that Hawk Tuah and spit on that thing. You get me?
I mean, that's not just a regular old Hawk Tuah. That's a Hawk Tuah. I mean, that's like from a distance. I mean, it's like she's playing a game with that guy. Hawk Tuah.
You gotta give him that Hawk Tuah and spit on that thing. You get me?
So she was very proud of herself, obviously, and the guy laughed, and she had a friend with her that laughed, and I'm like, wow, this is crazy. And apparently, Pledge tells me this, was like a week ago. Well, apparently it was, and I may be the last one to know. I don't know if all of you that are listening have, listened to that or seen it, and I'm the last guy to know. But the internet is undefeated. And so there's all of these things that are out there that are playing off of that Hawk Tuah. And it's amazing to me because there's pictures of people like with the ecstasy on their face, like Keanu Reeves was one of them, and then there was another. They're just kind of making fun of. Anyway, without getting into too much detail, I just find it fascinating, and I love how the internet is just. I mean, you give somebody a subject, and they just run with it. They run with it, and it's funny as hell. And you wonder why all of us waste about 2 hours of our lives every day watching these reels. It's amazing.
You gotta give him that Hawk Tuah, spit on that thing. You gotta give him that Hawk Tuah, spit on that thing. Hawk Tuah, spit on that thing. 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 Hawk Tuah.
You see what I mean? It's crazy how, just the videos are made and stuff. And I'm sure that's very entertaining when you watch it as well. But I mean, my goodness, that girl is enthusiastic about that Hawk Tuah. And she's got to be a Southern girl, right? And rumor has it, she's a pastor's daughter. And I get it. Because, you always heard that a preacher's daughter, a pastor's daughter is kind of, they can be kind of out there, kind of wild. Well, she certainly, it's not the first time she's done a Hawk Tuah. I mean, she's a vet when it comes to the Hawk Tuah. I don't think there's any question about it because she was very proud of that. And there was no thinking about it. I mean, as soon as this dude asks a question, it's like, Hawk Tuah, boom. Out there.
Hawk Tuah.
I wonder if she hurt herself. Like she's throwing up, for goodness sake.
Hawk Tuah and spit
Wow.
on that thing. You get me?
I get you, darling. Hawk Tuah. Oh man. So that was kind of the cherry on top, if you will, to a pretty good day. And it's the day is continued, and then Pledge is putting together all of these things and the music and the good stuff, and it's been a good day. It really has. And so sometimes it takes the internet to just kind of cheer you up from what's been a roller coaster ride of a day thus far. I mean, does that make you laugh? Every time I hear that now, you can't help but laugh. Do you laugh, Pledge?
Oh, every time. It is fantastic.
It's amazing. Now, on our YouTube page is that Cheese Louise says, how do you think his dad thinks about it? Now, I'm not sure whose dad, and maybe he's commenting on something else. Her dad probably doesn't like it too much because I'm sure he's seen it already. I just love it. I mean, there was no hesitation after the question was asked. None. It was a Hawk Tuah.
My question is, how long until
Hawk Tuah
becomes the new
here we go
at the line of scrimmage in NFL games?
Wow. Yeah. Now, I don't know if anybody would do that, but I mean, a guy like Dak Prescott, Hawk Tuah. Who would he be talking to?
No.
CD Lamb? Oh, man, we're going to get in trouble now, Pledge. But, it's fun. Now,
I mean, we have a bunch of different ones. Omaha. There's all kinds of weird signals around the NFL.
Yeah, but none of them mean what Hawk Tuah means. Not that I'm aware of anyway. Maybe in certain societies it does. Now, Pledge, I just heard something there when you played that last Hawk Tuah.
Hawk Tuah.
Is it Hawk Tuah?
Hawk Tuah.
It sounded like Hawk Tuah.
Hawk Tuah and spit on that thing. You get me?
Spit on that thing, man.
Hawk Tuah.
So, needless to say, it took the internet and the Hawk Tuah Girl, who, by the way, they're making hats for this girl or for that. And so I guess she can do nothing about it because it's not like, it's not like hers, although it should be. She ought to coin the phrase because she does it better than anybody.
Hawk Tuah.
I mean, I swear it sounds like she's puking. Hawk Tuah.
Hawk Tuah and spit on that thing. You get me?
Oh my goodness. Joshua Jimenez says Hawk Tuah. Like Tua Tagovailoa. Maybe he could incorporate that.
Yeah, that's one of the memes going around. Her face is on his body and it says the Dolphins just signed Hawk Tuah Tagovailoa to back up quarterback.
The internet is undefeated, man. It is flat out undefeated. So I feel better about that. And hopefully that put a smile on your face. Like it did Pledge in mine. And I'm
we
really
get suck on that all week.
Hawk Tuah.
Hey, you could even use the glory hole with that. I mean, either way, it all fits. No pun intended. All right. When we come back, we'll stop Hawk Tuahing it, and
Hawk Tuah.
we'll talk a little bit about the NBA draft and what is the best fit for one Victor Wembanyama. We got a couple of experts that will share what they think Vic needs here in San Antonio and how to move this thing along. We'll do that when the Blitz continues right here on San Antonio Sports Star
94.1.
Hi, Jason Minix here for my friends at Hill Electric. When you need an electrician, Hill Electric is available 24/7 for residential and commercial needs. I know I've used Hill Electric at my house for a variety of projects through the years. They've added extra outlets in the garage because, the builder never puts enough in there. They put a nice spotlight over one of my grills outside, dimmer lights in the living room. They do fantastic work and have for over 3 decades. The family-owned Hill Electric has served San Antonio homes and businesses. Whatever your project is, Hill Electric has the right service for the right price. And you know what? Never a service charge, always free estimates. So it costs you nothing to figure out what it will take to get your project done. Hill Electric, a great local family-owned business. Again, never a service charge, always free estimates. Call Hill Electric at 210-404-9074, 404-9074, or check their website, hill-electric.com. That's hill-electric.com.
Over the past decade, the Roo Pub has proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the UFC fights, and when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and certainly the best place to watch a game. The Roo Pub is next to the Angry Elephant and in the same plaza as the Big Blind there at 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
Attention taxpayers. If you or your business owe the IRS back taxes or have years of unfiled tax returns, the IRS has greenlighted billions of dollars in tax relief to those facing financial hardship through its tax relief initiatives. If you have a delinquent tax problem and possibly facing wage garnishment, liens, levies, audits, or already in a payment plan, you may now qualify for significant relief. Qualifying and enrolling in this program could stop all collections, settle your tax problem, and may even reduce what you owe by up to 99%. Call the hotline at Tax Help USA to see if you qualify by dialing 800-212-1585. If you or your business owe at least $10,000 in back taxes to the IRS or state, you can now get the help that you need during these hard economic times. Call Tax Help USA to get your free tax assessment to see what you qualify for by dialing 800-212-1585. 800-212-1585. 800-212-1585.
Not available in all states. Individual results will vary. Program qualification required.
Maybe it's time to ask your checking account. What have you done for me lately? My Advantage Checking from Generations Federal Credit Union does more. My Advantage Checking pays you 2 days early, plus shopping rewards, identity protection, and much more. My Advantage Checking treats you right. So make the switch. Learn more at Generations Federal Credit Union. Member owned, community grown. Member eligibility requirements apply. For complete terms and conditions, visit mygenfcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA.
Step up your lunch game at Twin Peaks. We have the light and hearty combos put together for you starting at just $7.99, featuring savory soups, crisp salad, and a variety of sandwiches and so much more to satisfy every craving. With 4 San Antonio area locations, enjoy your next lunch break at Twin Peaks. And Twin Peaks is hiring. Have a ton of fun and make great money. Currently looking for Twin Peaks girls, cooks, busters, barbacks, and more. Text WORK, the number 4 TP to 85000 to apply. Twin Peaks eats, drinks, and those scenic views.
Have pain? Have chronic pain, low back pain, knee pain, neck pain, or shoulder pain? I can help. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health, and we get to the root of your pain. We don't just give pain medications. We do the proper investigation to see what is the root cause, and it's covered by your insurance. Reduce your medication, avoid surgery, and get rid of pain for good. Call for your free evaluation. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health, where we get to the root cause of your problem. 210-468-1891.
Hey everybody, it's Rob Thompson here for Prize Picks. It is my game of fun and fantasy, and it's time for the excitement for summer sports to begin. And I say the best way to take summer sports and have the fun with it is to take it to the next level with Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app. A community of over 5 million players. If you're not a member, I promise you know one. Prize Picks, it's about more or less. It's about playing the things that you know. You can make Prize Picks a daily game, a weekly game, do whatever you like, and you can do it fast. You can turn $10 into $1,000 in just a couple of seconds by playing Prize Picks. So get ready to enjoy the fantasy games that you love with the app that is available. And here's the key right now. If you use the code Alamo, that's Alamo, you'll get up to $100. Enter the code Alamo at the Prize Picks app on your first deposit match of up to $100. You know the games are there. You're a fantasy player. Play them the right way. That's Prize Picks. Alamo today.
It's the Blitz with Jason and Joe on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Happy Friday afternoon, everybody. So happy you're joining us, spending part of your Friday with us. Hey, if you're off work, congratulations. The weekend is here. How about that? Yeah, you might have some plans this weekend. Oh, we're having too much fun here today, man. I hope you are having a great day. Really do. Hope everybody's having a great day. I'm Joe Reinagle. My partner, Jason Minix, is on vacation. James Pledger is punching the buttons and making the music happen. And the Hawk Tuah. Oh, my goodness.
Hawk Tuah.
Tuah. Does not sound like she's puking. It does.
Tuah and spit on that thing. You get me?
Absolutely, man. We're having a good time. Geez, I'm like lost. We just play that for about 5 minutes, Pledge.
Oh, you gotta give that Hawk Tuah. Spit on that
Oh my
thing.
God.
Oh, you gotta give that Hawk Tuah. Spit on that thing. Spit on that thing. Spit on that thing. Spit on that thing. Spit on that thing.
That might be the even better than the Hawk Tuah, because and it does sound like sneeze, right? Hawk Tuah.
Hawk Tuah and spit on that thing. You get
She
me?
doesn't, but the spit on that thing. She's quite the Southern belle. Hawk Tuah, spit on that thing. Man, wow. I'm impressed. I don't know what else to say. I'm impressed with the girl because she didn't skip a beat, man. That question was asked, and bam, that's what I do. Spit on that thing.
Oh, you gotta give him that Hawk Tuah and
Uh-huh.
spit on that thing. You get
Yeah, I mean, there was no hesitation. Nothing. You don't think he gave her the question, do you? Like, I'm going to ask you about this, and I hope it was
It's a
spontaneous.
series of rapid fire questions, and you can hear her cut them off.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, when the question actually comes down the pipe, she cuts them off.
What's one move in bed that makes a man go crazy every time?
Oh,
that
you
do?
gotta give him that Hawk Tuah and spit on that thing. You get me?
I mean, he was still going. She was like, "Nah, I got this."
Wow. Yes, I'm impressed. I have to tell you, extremely impressed by that young lady and her escapades. I'm sure that I just feel like I'm like walking that line, right? And you don't want to step over to the dark side there, but I'm sure she's a lot of fun if you're into that kind of stuff.
Hawk Tuah.
Oh my goodness! You know, I guess I gotta surf the TikToks and the Instagrams more. Was that was on TikTok? Was that a TikTok thing?
It started on TikTok, but it's on Reels, YouTube Shorts. It's everywhere now.
So, Pledge, and let me ask you a question, because obviously we're almost done with this segment. So we'll do the NBA draft stuff that we're going to do coming up here in just a moment. But I got to ask you, because I'm an Instagram guy and I'm a big Twitter guy, right? And then Facebook is kind of, that's a family thing, I guess, where you post pictures and messages and stuff. But
We have a friend that will send us Instagram Reels of things we've seen on TikTok like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
Because it takes a second to shift over to the platform, getting the algorithm sometimes.
So TikTok is really where the funniest stuff is. Is that accurate or no?
Just current events.
Current. Okay. So most stuff like the Hawk Tuah Girl is it breaks on TikTok. That's where it is.
That's a good way to play it.
Breaks on TikTok and then continues everywhere else. See, I got to know this stuff because I have the app on my phone.
I know you do. I send you things.
I have an account, right? But I don't really go through that stuff, right? I don't go to TikTok very often. Maybe I need to go to it more often, because apparently there's a lot of entertainment there that I'm not privy to. And when I got you and some others in here talking about, hey, Joe, have you seen this? I mean, obviously you guys are impressed. And so
Hawk Tuah and spit on that thing. You get me?
yes. Well, one could turn into the other. Could it not? I mean, that could start. What she's saying could certainly start the process. And then the hump day could take place shortly thereafter. Woo! Man, it's Friday. Is it a happy hour yet?
It feels like Friday. This has been the best week ever.
I tell you, it's been awesome, dude.
You get that like that because there's always been talk, right, about a 4-day work week. Like,
yeah.
Imagine having like your regular schedule just broken up on a Wednesday.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
On a
hump day.
That was pretty cool. Although I missed that, and I will say that I did a couple of humps yesterday, and and then so you got to go with the hump day thing, and I think hump day is appropriate anytime. Don't you? I mean, I know it has its meaning. Wednesday's hump day.
It is,
but
I will sacrifice not being able to have the hump day fun with the drop and everything for the day off every Wednesday.
I could do that. Or if you could rotate them, maybe, this week you got Monday off, next week's Tuesday, then and just kind of rotate. I don't know if that'd be very good for people that own businesses that you work for, but it'd be great for us.
I mean, all I know is that you go through your regular weekend, you come back, it's Monday, and then it's Friday, because you got Wednesday off.
Right.
And then you come back on Thursday, and it's like we're almost done, and we're already at Friday again.
Already at Friday. And it's already 4:30. And a lot of people are already off. A lot of people have already started their weekend fun.
It was kind of an amazing week. I'm not mad about it at all.
No, it's been a great week. It really has. Minix will be back in the chair next week, but I'll be gone next week. So you're going to have to handle things with Minix.
Well, I'll be out Monday, so that'll be Edwin's problem.
Now, is Monday's the Blink 182 concert?
It is.
Right?
It
okay,
is.
So.
Plus, I've got a lot of things that I got to do for my mom that earlier in the day.
But you're going to the concert, right?
I'm going to the concert.
Yeah, and I know that Minix is going to the concert, Blink 182. I've heard a lot of people going to that concert, and it would be a great concert to go to if I was going to be in town, but I'm not. So I don't have a problem missing it. Maybe I'll just play some Blink 182 and wherever I'm at.
You're going to have so much FOMO, Joe.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure I will. Yeah. The only FOMO I've had today is when we talked to Andrew Monaco, the voice of the Texas A&M Aggies, being in Omaha, Nebraska, with that spectacle that's going on there. So,
the only FOMO I've had is when we've talked about.
Now, by FOMO, do you mean the fact you haven't found somebody to do that?
No, I'm just missing out on that one.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of guys out there going, damn, that's never happened. Maybe it has. And some guy's sitting back going, I'm a professional.
No,
I'm a professional. That happens to me all the time.
Jonas Harley has a great idea on our YouTube channel.
Oh, yeah?
He says, can we start getting a Hawk Tuah's Day?
Hey, not a bad idea.
Leading us into Hump Day.
We'll give it to the idea folks, and maybe they can find a way to figure that out. But I just find that fascinating. I have a feeling it's not the going to be the last time we hear from the Hawk Tuah Girl.
Hawk Tuah and spit on that thing. You get me?
You get me?
I get you, darling. Yeah, I get you. Everybody gets you. They do. Hey, we were going to talk NBA draft in this segment, but the
Hawk Tuah
girl got in the way. So if she can stop Hawk Tuahing, then we can talk a little NBA basketball.
Hawk Tuah
and Victor Wembanyama. Wow. Wemby. Wonder if he's involved in such shenanigans like that. We'll talk about Wemby. We'll talk about the NBA draft and the best way for the Spurs to build around this guy. Go slow, draft and develop, or get crazy and bring some players in here. We'll do all of that as we continue here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Monday on the Morning Huddle, are the Aggies standing supreme or do they need another game? We'll talk about it.
And finally, it's draft week in San Antonio. We'll see what the latest is with the Spurs. Morning Huddle, 94.1 starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Mornings 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
You know, as you're watching the games, you want to add excitement to watching those games and test your fantasy skill. Best way to do that is at UnderdogFantasy.com, a fan favorite way to play fantasy sports. Legal in Texas, a ton of fun play, especially the Pick'em game, where you pick between 2 and 5 players to build your Pick'em entry. And all you have to do is select higher or lower on predicted stats. If your picks hit, you could win up to 100 times your money. Endless projections to choose from. I love playing the Pick'em game at Underdog Fantasy. You will too. So get started by going to UnderdogFantasy.com or downloading their app. Use my promo code STAR when you sign up, and Underdog will give you a mystery special pick to use on your first Pick'em entry and a deposit offer. Must be over 18 and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. Again, sign up using my promo code STAR at UnderdogFantasy.com.
Testosterone levels in men can start to decrease as early as 30 years old, and long-term health risks can be extremely damaging to your body. Rock's Discount Vitamins carries a variety of natural testosterone boosters that can immediately provide you with more energy, increased libido, increased metabolism, and improve your mood. Rock's Discount Vitamins natural testosterone boosters can even help you build muscle and lose weight faster. With 11 San Antonio locations, visit rocksdiscountvitamins.com. Thanking God and South Texas for all the support.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textblend.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Go to nomoredraftywindows.com for full offer details.
Homeowners, ready to replace your windows or patio doors, but think it's going to be too expensive? Well, think again, because with Renewal by Andersen, you can get top quality, affordable windows and patio doors for no money down, no payments, and no interest for 12 months. That's right. You don't pay a dime for an entire year. Just text LONG to 200-300 right now for your free in-home window consultation and free price quote. Upgrade your home with new energy-efficient windows and doors installed by certified master installers from Renewal by Andersen and get their best in the nation 20-year warranty. Renewal by Andersen is the company with the most 5-star reviews among leading full-service window replacement companies. Act now and get your windows and patio doors for no dollars down, no payments, and no interest for an entire year. Plus, save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. But hurry, these big dollar savings end this month. Text LONG to 200-300. Text the word LONG to 200-300. Don't wait. Text LONG to 200-300.
George gets justice. In life's most challenging moments, getting the right help matters most if you've been injured. Get George at George Salinas Injury Lawyers. With a track record of success and a dedication to their clients, George gets justice. George Salinas Injury Lawyers is not just a law firm. They're your support system. Get George at George Salinas Injury Lawyers today at 210-225-0909 or visit GetGeorge.com. George gets justice. GetGeorge.com.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Lowe's knows owning a project means owning the right tools. And during Craftsman Days, you can save big on what you need from a brand you trust. Get a free Select V20 tool when you buy a Select Battery 2-pack. Plus, get your choice of the V20 string trimmer or leaf blower for only $99. Find these savings and more today. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 7/10 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
home for the Dallas Cowboys is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
We are home for the Dallas Cowboys right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Joe Reinagel. Jason Minix is on vacation. James Pledger is not. He's back there having way too much fun on this Friday afternoon. Hope you're having some fun on this Friday afternoon, whatever it is that you are doing. Thanks for spending some time with us. We appreciate it. Whether you're on YouTube or out driving around the beautiful city of San Antonio or Seguin or San Marcos or Bernie or wherever you are, thanks for tuning us in here on 94.1. You can get me on Twitter at Joe Reinagel210. And certainly you can comment on our YouTube channel. If you haven't been there, if you haven't had a chance to go to the YouTube channel, it's worth it because there's a lot of funny people in there that have some great comments. Some we can read on air, some not. But it's a lot of fun. So check that out. Like and subscribe our YouTube channel. We get graded on stuff like that. So we would appreciate it. But NBA draft is coming up on Wednesday. Hump day. Yeah,
Hump
the NBA
day.
draft. And of course they would make it on Hump Day. It's the best day of the week, for goodness sake. Hump Day. So they know what's happening. But it is going to happen, and we'll finally get rid of all of this speculation. Now, Pledge just told me that it was who was it, Pledge?
Yahoo Sports' Jake Fisher's reporting that the Spurs are shopping the 8th pick.
Now, see, that's interesting. And when you say shopping the 8th pick, I wonder if that means to try and move up a little bit or try and package that or move back a little bit. I don't know. So, and I'm glad to hear it. Quite frankly, I am. And I hope that Mr. Fisher is right, that they are shopping that thing around, and hopefully somebody will bite and they'll get something good out of it. You know me, I've been of the opinion that this rebuild needs to go a little faster than normal, or than a lot of Spurs fans think it should go. I just think Wemby's ready. I really think he's ready. And I think that a lot of people are thinking that now. When you watch Victor Wembanyama, the way he played, especially the end of the season, second half of the season, I think a lot of people are feeling that way, including our good friend, former Spur, NBA champion, Antonio Daniels. He was on with us yesterday on the Blitz, and he talked about how it's not the Spurs really that are going to expedite this process. It's Wemby that expedited
I'll tell you what he's done. He's expedited the process. Because when he first came in, the thought was, okay, the Spurs can afford to take it slow. They can afford to take it slow and year by year. Now you can't. There are two things I'll say about Victor Wembanyama. One of them, I think a year from now, he'll be the best player in the world. And my co-host told me this the other day, and I love the way he put it. If you could press start, scroll down to settings, and then take injuries off, he realistically has an opportunity to be the best player that's ever played this game.
Wow.
And that's real. That is like to watch Victor Wembanyama up close and personal. To watch, you can hear the hype and he's going to be this and going to be that. But when you see it, and he has an edge to him. So I don't have a problem. I'm not big on hyperbole. Watching a lot of the sports shows where they hot takes and they're all over the place. I have a problem. I have no problem whatsoever saying a year from now, San Antonio Spurs could easily have the best player in the world. In 10 to 15 years from now, San Antonio could have the best player that ever touched the basketball. I don't have a issue or problem saying that one bit.
Boy, I tell you what, those are big words. The best player to ever touch a basketball. Best player to ever play in the game. I mean, think about that. So Antonio Daniels' prediction or thought process, whatever you want to call it, is that Victor Wembanyama one day, we'd look at him better than Michael Jordan, better than, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, better than LeBron James. However you want to handle it, that's what he's saying, and that's what he believes that Wemby has the potential to become. I mean, my goodness. If he does, just think about how many more banners the Spurs are going to be hanging in the Frost Bank Center if Wemby stays here. And hopefully he does. And I say this, and I don't say it to scare people, because look, if this process is there and there's progress and the Spurs are getting to where they're going to be, I think Wemby's going to be very happy staying here. But don't fool yourself, because once that contract starts to come up for expiration, every team in the NBA is going to make a play for this guy. There's not one. Typically you have a player like that. Well, you got a handful of teams or maybe one or two that are going to be interested. Every team in the league will make a play for this guy and find a way to get it done if they have to. The good news for the Spurs, they will be able to pay him more than anybody else. However, keep in mind, we almost lost Tim Duncan. Very close to losing Tim Duncan to Orlando. And so it can happen. And I don't say that to scare anybody, but look, everybody that wants a slow rebuild, a draft and develop, and let's not skip steps, and let's not eat all the cows, as somebody put it yesterday. I wanted all the cows instead of just one. I can't remember exactly what it was, but something to that effect. I just think this rebuild needs to go. Antonio Daniels said it perfectly, that Wemby has expedited this rebuild. He's ready to go, and you've got to feed that man. You've got to feed him. You've got to satisfy and scratch the itch, so to speak, that he's got to win. Look, I don't think there's any question that Wemby hated last year to a great extent. And he said as much. He didn't want to be a part of a team and have his name associated with a team that had the worst record ever in NBA history. He didn't want that. And I find it fascinating that people are out there and say, well, we got to draft. We got to take this slow. BS. The heck with that. It's time to move this thing. It's time to put high octane fuel into the process. Spurs have it. They need to start spending it. Not saying just throw everything you've got into some big game player, but it's time to start moving the wheels and get this thing going. And just drafting a couple of guys in next week's draft and bringing them in and saying, this is it, and we're going to go. No, it's not good enough. Let's move this thing along. And I hope that's exactly what the Spurs want to do. Now, look, Wemby's been working with a veteran, a guy by the name of Jamal Crawford. You guys, I'm sure, have heard of Jamal Crawford. I'm really happy that he's been working with a guy like that. He was on with Dan Patrick. And Dan Patrick, the first question he asked him was, what did he work with Wemby on?
Well, we go back to earlier this season when we had him on the show. And I asked him, because he'd been doing some crazy moves. So I asked him about, if he could do this particular move. And he's like, yeah, I've been doing that for years. I'm like, yeah, okay. And then we hook up at All-Star, and I just show him some freestyle moves. And from there, our relationship kind of took off.
Wait, what did you show him?
Well, I showed him, a wraparound move where he wraps around his body. It's only reserved for tall guards, Dan. Guys with long arms that can pull this off. And I thought he could take us to the next level. But it was funny when I started showing him, although the rookie sophomores on the court, all the attention, they stopped shooting and just went over there. I'm like, okay, let's just keep this surface level because everybody's watching right now.
Well, interesting. And look, if Wemby, and I think that's what you talk about learning. Look, he's still got a lot to learn in the NBA, but I think he got it. And Antonio Daniels, when he was on with us yesterday, talked about, because I said, I think, he was lost in November and December. He looked lost. A couple of reasons for that. I think the Jeremy Sohan experience was a failure. I mean, it was a flop. It was. Pop realized it, and he made the change. That helped. And Antonio was of the opinion that the move to the 5 helped Wemby. And you look at that, and you look at the way that he played, and I think there's a lot to that. So it's very interesting as to what those guys that have played in the NBA at a high level think and look at. And one thing that both Antonio Daniels and Jamal Crawford agree on is the importance of having a quality point guard with Wemby.
No disrespect to Jeremy Sohan, and I understand the thought process that Pop had at that time, but the point guard position is not a skill set, it's a mindset. So when you have a guy who thinks like a point guard, right? I remember watching the San Antonio Spurs on nights where the New Orleans Pelicans weren't playing. And there were so many times that Wemby was open, but guys didn't know how to get him the ball because it's something that you have to learn. But when you have a guy like Trey Jones who thinks the position, right? Again, it's not a skill set, it's a mindset. So there are certain things that and now you're putting Wemby in positions of success on one hand, but then you also have somebody on the other hand that knows how to get him that basketball as well. That's not what Jeremy Sohan did. That's not who he was. Like, you think about the course of his career going back to Baylor, like, he wasn't a point guard guy, you know. But when you insert a point guard guy, now Wemby's running and he's rim running and these lobs are open and now he's getting a lot more easy opportunity. I think that's when things started to change for the San Antonio Spurs.
Interesting. And again, I mean, it didn't take a rocket scientist or a genius basketball mind to see that the Jeremy Sohan experience at point guard just wasn't working out. It just didn't. Sohan didn't look comfortable there, and the whole thing was just, it was not good. Now, I credit Pop, though, for trying something. Because, look, I'm always saying, if you're not going to shoot, you're not going to score. You know, you got to take a shot every now and then. You might fail, but at least you took the shot and you tried it. Pop gave it a shot. He tried it. If it would have worked, we'd all been saying, man, what a genius move that was. Didn't work. But it's okay. It's okay. Look, it's just like the draft. Whoever you draft, no matter how much you like them, whether it's Stephon Castle from UConn or whomever, just because they're highly touted coming out of college does not mean that they're going to be good NBA players. It doesn't. It's all a crapshoot. You make a trade, doesn't mean it's going to work. But you took the shot. You took the shot. And that's what I appreciate, because you ain't going to score unless you try. That's it. And so I hope the Spurs take a shot. And I hope they do with a veteran player to try and swing something to get this process started. Somebody that's going to help Victor Wembanyama. What do you guys think? Give us a call, 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. You can chime in on our YouTube channel there if you would like to do so, or you can get to me at Joe Reinagle 210 on Twitter. Let's go to the phone lines now. Joshua wants to talk about the draft. Joshua, welcome to the Blitz.
Hey, thanks, Joe. And can we get a nice little do it? Okay. This draft has me scared with the number 8.
Dude,
I think he broke his phone with that.
Yeah, you must have. You may have. Hang up and call again, Joshua. We'll put you on. Nobody can hear you right now. We're going to hang up on you. Give us another call, and we'll get you back on here pretty soon. The need for a point guard, though, I think is there. And this is nothing against Trey Jones. I think Trey Jones, he did a remarkable job. But you got to ask yourself, is he the guy moving forward? What do the Spurs think of Trey Jones? Do they think enough of him to say, you're our guy and we're going to go forward with you? Or do you draft one like a Stephon Castle? Or do you go out and get one like a Darius Garland? And so the draft's going to tell a lot. Let's get back to the phone lines because Joshua called back and he's got a point to make and we want to hear it. Joshua, give it another try.
Hey, thanks, Joe. Yeah, we're just going to come in with the point. We're not going to add the extra bit to it.
You got a little too excited, I think.
Oh, yeah. Saw the video yesterday. It's been amazing what the internet's done.
I know.
Gotta love it. So, anyways, the number 8 pick the number 8 pick the Spurs are going to be trading. I'm nervous about it because last year the Spurs had the number 1, the 33, and the 44. And you needed all these pieces, and we know it was an abysmal team, but yet Brian Wright traded the number 33 for nothing. And it makes me nervous with the number 8 pick. What is he shopping it for? What is he trying to do? I know Brian Wright loves second-round draft picks, but it's just one of those. It has me nervous. I have very little faith in the organization, especially with how Victor Wembanyama has been touted as the great talent, and he showed that he is a generational talent. that this organization, something is wrong. It feels like the Bill O'Brien playing GM. Something's wrong. Something's up. I can't put my hand on it or finger on it to figure it out, but it just seems like something's wrong. There's no way this team should have lost more games than a year when they were trying to lose games. And I understand the team is trying to play with Wemby, but at this point, it's like you already know what players fit with Wemby and don't. They should have already been either traded or out the door. And it seems like the team wants to keep all the players, which I'm fine with, and build through the draft. It's like, whatever, just pick something, just start winning. I don't care which way you go, just win. You got a generational talent. If he doesn't start winning, he's already told media, hey, if I ain't winning, I'm not happy. And I think he has maybe 1-2 more years of these losing seasons. If they aren't competing, at least in the playoffs, I think Wemby's maybe talking to Brian Windhorst, who's now his new best friend, because Brian ain't got LeBron. And he's telling him, hey, I want to get traded out of here. And I just fear the worst with that, because now all these owners know how to tell. If you got a generational talent in your door and he says, hey, I want my family to fly on this private plane, every owner's telling them yes. They ain't pulling to Orlando and telling them no and keeping them there. So I'm a little nervous with it. But again, hey, Ryan Wright, do what you're going to do, man. We can figure it out. And if it's bad, we got the roof up and you got plenty of drinks. Eventually there's going to be a Blitz shot and we'll all party it up there and have a good time, guys.
Exactly right. Joshua, thanks for the phone call. There will be a Blitz shot. We got to get that working again. But, I like what you said, and I think everybody's a little bit scared because we don't know. The Spurs are one of the best teams at hiding stuff from getting out. There's no leaks in Spursville, very few. And when you talk about Fisher, who's saying that he thinks that the Spurs are shopping the 8th pick, okay. He doesn't say what for, shopping it for what. Nobody knows. And see, that's the thing about this draft. This draft in particular, more so than any I can remember before, there is just so much all over the place that mock drafts are different. People's rumors are different. Sources, so-called, are different. And I'm not sure that anybody knows what they're going to do until it happens on Wednesday and we see what the Spurs are going to do. I think we'll then get an idea of what they plan to do for season number 2 of Wemby and then maybe into season number 3. They've got plenty of draft capital, but I even think, look, Oklahoma City is a team that likes to develop through the draft, likes to collect draft picks and develop through the draft. But even they realize that you got to add some veteran talent. They got lucky with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. They got really lucky. I don't think anybody knew that he was going to be the player that he's turned into. And now Josh Giddey is gone, and they've got a defensive stopper in there. So they feel like they needed to add a piece. They did, went out and made a trade, which as for now, maybe not in the future, but as for now, I think Oklahoma City got the best out of that deal. Well, we'll obviously talk a lot more NBA draft because the draft is coming up next week, Wednesday. And it's going to be a lot of fun. So that's going to be a lot of the talk between now and then and figuring out exactly what's going to happen or what we think is going to happen. So keep those suggestions coming in. I want to give a shout out, though, to Matt, and I'm not even going to try to say your last name, buddy, but apparently he's in Spain listening to the show. And, man, we appreciate that. On vacation, he says, with his wife and kids. Props to you. That's another bucket list item. I'd like to go to Spain. Is that how you? Is it? Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't want to butcher that thing up. But he says he's talking military time. He says it's 23:58 here, and he misses everybody in the YouTube chat. But thanks, man, dude. Thanks for listening over in Spain. We appreciate that. How about that, Pledge? We just went international, buddy. We're not national. We're international.
We're Mr. Worldwide.
Worldwide. That's right. We are. Hey, when we come back, Quinn Ewers is talking to RG3 about Arch Manning. What in the world could that be all about? Well, we'll figure it out when we return on the Blitz right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Riding 410 with the Blitz. afternoons 2 to 6, KTFM Floresville, and everywhere at sasportstar.com. Ready for the ultimate outdoor adventure? 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star has your chance to win a getaway to Telluride, Colorado. Your prize package includes airfare and luxurious hotel accommodations for two, plus thrilling expeditions like fly fishing, kayaking, TV, run more, and it could be all yours. Enter once per day at sasportstar.com. You must be 18 or older to play. This is an Alpha Media company-wide contest. One winner will be chosen. Complete rules at sasportstar.com. Don't miss out on the adventure of a lifetime. Enter now at sasportstar.com.
Join the free smoothie party at Tropical Smoothie Cafe on June 21st for National Smoothie Day. We're treating our Tropic Rewards members to a free smoothie with bowl or food purchase. Order an app, online, or pop by the cafe for a little sip and chill. 3 cheers to our Tropic fam. Terms and conditions apply.
Behind the Scenes, brought to you by Hulu. Go behind the scenes of Ferrari. The filmmakers meticulously recreated iconic race scenes using both real cars and advanced CGI, capturing the high-speed thrills and drama of the legendary car manufacturer's history. For Origin, the production team delved into elaborate set designs and cutting-edge special effects to vividly depict the genesis of a monumental story, blending historical accuracy with imaginative storytelling. Head on over to Hulu and catch this and so much more.
Do you have multiple years of unfiled taxes or owe more than $8,000? The tax attorneys at Allies Tax Relief are your ally and will stop the IRS from garnishing your wages or levying your bank account. Call 800-230-5174.
For the ones who know safety isn't a catchphrase, it's a culture. And the ones who help make sure everyone makes it home safe. For the safety-minded who watch everyone's backs, Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry, as well as safety assessments and training to keep your facilities safe and your people safer. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
My weekend plans were already looking good, but now they're looking pretty epic thanks to the deals at Kohl's. I just saved on great summer essentials like shorts for my whole family at $16.99 and some cute dresses for 40% off. I also saved up to 85% off clearance after an extra 50% off. And with their Buy More, Save More offer, I saved $10 when I spent $50. Plus, I earned Kohl's cash. So take it from me. You need to get to Kohl's for epic deals ASAP. Select styles. Offers end June 23rd. Extra 50% off clearance valid through June 25th. Coupons and Kohl's cash do not apply to Sephora. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
With a true Vegas feel, the Big Blind is the premier poker room in San Antonio, featuring an upscale environment catering to players from all abilities. From high-octane tournaments or lively cash games, the Big Blind has a game for everyone, including blackjack tournaments. From the owners of the Roo Pub and the Angry Elephant, the Big Blind is locally owned and operated, offering daily cash games to daily, weekly, and monthly tournaments. Learn more online at thebigblindsa.com. The Big Blind at 281 and Redland Road.
The best things in life, they come in twos. 2 scoops of ice cream, 2 tacos. And now for a limited time, get our best deal of the year. Buy any phone when you switch to Consumer Cellular and get 2 months of service free. That's right, the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage as Big Wireless, now with 2 months free. Proof the best things in life really do come in twos. Visit consumercellular.com or call 1-888-FREEDOM. Second and third month of monthly base service fee waived for new customers with the purchase of a phone and activation by July 31st, 2024. Taxes, fees, and third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. An important message about your timeshare from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. Contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about timeshare cancellation.
Call 800-881-4242. 800-881-4242.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Grainger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hulu is coming in hot this month with new shows, new movies, and all new seasons of your faves. Don't miss FX's Clipped, the story of one NBA team's racial reckoning starring Lawrence Fishburne. Stream a new season of Shoresy, the underdog hockey team that might just knock your teeth out. Then catch the high-speed drama Ferrari starring Adam Driver and Penelope Cruz. Kick your streaming into high gear this month with so much new stuff to watch on Hulu.
94.1 San Antonio's Sports Center.
Well, the Texas Rangers return to action after a day off. They open up a series with the Royals' first pitch set for 7:05. You can catch that game on your home for Rangers baseball, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. It all kicks off at 6:30 with the pregame show. Astros will start a series with the Baltimore Orioles at the Juice Box. That starts at 7:10 tonight. And the Texas A&M Aggies take on Tennessee in the Men's College World Series Final.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas Authority in Barricade Rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
Joe Reinagel.
For the third time in 7 seasons, the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Happy Friday, everybody. It's 5 o'clock. If you're getting off work, that's a little after 5 o'clock. If you're getting off work, welcome to the weekend. Congratulations, you made it. Happy for you. Go pop a top and enjoy your Friday night. Have some fun. Thanks for being here with us. I'm Joe Reinagel. My partner, Jason Minix, is on vacation. James Pledger is in the glass box of fun, having a good time on this Friday. Both of us are. Hope you are as well. Got some scary news, though, that James pointed out to me, and I hate this. It says Barry Sanders actually sent this out, or a representative of his. It says, over Father's Day weekend, I experienced a health scare related to my heart. It was unexpected and served as a reminder of the importance of staying vigilant about our physical well-being, even when we are feeling fine. He says, I'm grateful for the doctors, nurses, and all the rest. He's thankful for his family, and they are thankful for the prayers and support that they're getting during this time. He says, per my doctor's recommendation, taking this opportunity to prioritize my health and well-being, I appreciate your understanding and continued support. Barry Sanders, I literally shed a tear when that man retired from the NFL. I literally did. You talk about favorite players and guys that you just love to watch play football. Barry Sanders was one of those guys. I'll be honestly, I followed him a little bit at Oklahoma State, but when he got into the NFL and just watching that man run the football was just, it was magical. The guy just like he floated on air, and it was magical to watch him. And to only get 10 years of Barry Sanders was heartbreaking to me, quite frankly. To me, look, I love Emmitt Smith, and obviously he's got the numbers. He's the all-time leading rusher in NFL history, but the best running back in the NFL, in my mind, is Barry Sanders.
I have never seen a person do more with less.
Oh my gosh.
He would get hit getting the handoff sometimes.
Yes.
And turn it into a 60-yard gain. It was incredible. And the fact that they can never put enough talent around that guy was just a disaster. I loved watching him as a kid, and I thought Reggie Bush was going to be the reincarnation of Barry Sanders in the NFL.
Well, I tell you what, Barry Sanders, you could throw O.J. Simpson in that same category, doing all the things that he did with nothing. Those Buffalo Bills teams that he played for were horrible. And like O.J. Simpson or not, obviously he turned out to be, what he turned out to be. But when he played football, he was an amazing running back. Emmitt Smith, there have been some great running backs, obviously, in the NFL. Walter Payton is another one that always comes to mind. But Barry Sanders, for me, I would have to put as number one on my list of favorite running backs of all time. So I certainly am praying for Barry Sanders to make a recovery. Don't want to see anything happen to that man, and hopefully he will be okay. And boy, that's scary. But the fact that he put out a statement and just wants a little privacy now, a little R&R. So hopefully everything is okay.
First Willie Nelson, now Barry Sanders.
Man, oh man. Man, I love watching that dude run. He was just fantastic. Loved him a lot. We're going to talk to John Machota with The Athletic coming up here, and I don't know, about 10 minutes or so, 15, and see what's going on. I see Dak Prescott, I see CeeDee Lamb pictures on ESPN, and I think they're as baffled as anybody that the Cowboys have just been like crickets. I mean, it's been crickets this offseason since the mini camps ended, and nothing has happened still. And it just makes you wonder what's going to happen, if anything, with both of those guys. Going to be interesting to see. But first, let's talk a little Texas Longhorn football because Quinn Ewers, the starting quarterback for the Texas Longhorns, at least at this moment in time, was on with RG3, Robert Griffin III, and they were talking about the challenges of going into the SEC, number one, but also the challenge that Quinn is dealing with fans wanting Arch Manning in the lineup. And that's something that's certainly going to be difficult to deal with all season long.
Yeah, that's a great question. I think we're really intense competitors, and we all want the same outcome.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I think we're better humans, and I think we're better people, and I think that we really enjoy each other's company in that quarterback room. I mean, during the season, we do quarterback dinners every Tuesday, and we go have dinner together after Tuesday meetings. So, I mean, the room is I've never been in a closer room. I mean, all 3 years, it's been a super close room. I mean, my first year here, me and Hudson Card were in a quarterback battle, but at the same time, we're all hanging out on the weekends, going to dinners, enjoying each other's company. So, yeah, football means a lot to all of us, but being good humans, I think, means more.
And that's a great answer. It really is. But look, it's going to happen. The first interception that Quinn throws, if the Longhorns lose a game and Quinn doesn't play well, fans, not necessarily Sark, but fans are going to yell and scream and complain that they want to see Arch Manning under center. And it's going to happen. It happens everywhere. When you have two good quarterbacks, and especially the backup quarterback, who is typically on most teams the most popular guy in the world, and Arch Manning is going to be the most popular guy on that Texas team. If Quinn Ewers fumbles, stumbles, starts slowly out of the gate, it's going to happen. So there's going to be a lot of pressure on Quinn. Look, I'm happy that he came back. I think it was a smart business decision for him. He goes into the draft next year. Quarterback class is not quite as good as it was this year, and he's going to have an opportunity to be drafted higher than perhaps he might have been in this particular draft. Quinn also talked to Robert Griffin III about Arch's development, and the development he thinks is going to be speeded along and helped by him being able to sit and learn.
Yeah, I think that he gains a lot. I mean, just, not being from the state and coming in, and it's obviously a little different. I think he's got more time to grow his pride and love for the university. Obviously, he loves the university and loves the Longhorns, but kind of being able to sit back and watch, I think it's different than playing. So him seeing kind of what's going on from inside, but also outside, I think that he can get a lot of intel from that. And then obviously another year to learn the offense and just get more comfortable within the smaller details. I mean, it's like the best situation for him, I think.
And I don't disagree with that. I really don't. And I think, I wish more NFL quarterbacks had an opportunity to sit back and learn and watch and be ready for the moment. And I think for Arch Manning, let's keep in mind, this dude came out of a small school. I mean, he did. And so the experience that he has and the talent that he played with and against is going to be no match for what he is going to face in the SEC.
And we've already seen how much help this has given him in his development, because you remember last year's spring game, he looked awful.
He did.
He didn't know the offense. It looked like he was kind of figuring things out. This year's spring game, He looked incredible.
He looked great. I want to see how he looks against Georgia. I want to see how he looks against Michigan. I want to see how he looks against Tennessee. I want to see how he looks against some of those teams in the SEC. That will tell the tale.
You're not going to see that, but
you know what?
They
Plus,
play
you say that,
Jack, whatever.
I think you will. I don't wish anything on Quinn Ewers. I don't. But he's been hurt. He got hurt, and he could get hurt again. It would not surprise me if Arch Manning at some point in time is inserted into the lineup in a critical moment or a game that he's got to start. And I think it's going to happen. And I think having Arch ready to play is going to be Steve Sarkisian's biggest thing. And he's got to be ready because they're going to the SEC, man. It's physical. And I hope nothing happens to him. I really do. But Arch has got to be ready. And it wouldn't surprise me to see him in there at some point in time playing against some of those teams that I just mentioned. Speaking of playing for teams, the Dallas Cowboys, does anybody know what they're doing? I don't think anybody does. It's kind of like the NBA draft. You just don't know. Well, one guy that would know is John Machota with The Athletic. He was on vacation last week, and so hopefully he got a fresh mind. He can approach this Dallas Cowboy thing with a little bit clearer mind. We'll talk to him when we return here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. First, though, Parkhurst New Vision. Want to talk to you about them because I love talking about them. They're a fantastic place. Dr. Parkhurst and his staff do a remarkable job. I mean, it is incredible. And all you have to do is open up social media to find out. You see all these testimonials of patients that have been to Parkhurst New Vision and how happy they are. And guess what? I'm one of them. I had lens replacement surgery over a year ago, and my eyesight is better than it's been in 30 years. It is just life-changing stuff. Look, you can be a part of the community as well. All you have to do is get the ball rolling. And to do that, you dial the phone number, 210-585-2020. You can also check them out online at sanantoniolasik.com. When you give them a call, you'll set up that initial consultation. You'll go in there, tell them Joe Reinagel from the Blitz sent you. Then you ask your questions. They'll walk you through the process of how they're going to handle everything. They keep you updated with every single move. It is just incredible the way they do that. I felt comfortable the entire time, and you will as well. In fact, as soon as you walk through the door, you're going to feel like family. Give them a call. Let them do for you what they've done for me and so many others. It is Parkhurst New Vision. That number again is 210-585-2020.
94.1 FM.
Hi, my name is Jason Thompson. I'm an attorney here in San Antonio representing people and families who've been injured in traffic collisions since 1994. The reason it's important to call me as soon as possible is the number of tricks and mistakes you can make, even up to talking to insurance companies, which I'm going to tell you not to do. And also some of the billing practices at our local hospitals. And over the last year, I've seen more and more of this, where hospitals are asking patients to assign benefits they do not have to assign, all in an effort to get more money to the hospital than they would receive if all you used was your health insurance. When you call, I will give you your options. We'll talk about your case. And all of that is free of charge. If you or a family member has been injured in a traffic accident, whether car, commercial truck, motorcycle, I want you to call me as soon as possible after the collision. My number, 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400. Or go to my website at alawyerforus.com.
Hey, pet parents. With Progressive's collision coverage, you get extra protection for your cat or dog, because there's nothing worse than seeing your pet hurt. Like when you see their face after accidentally stepping on their tail, and you say, "I'm so sorry, Mr. Pickles." But as you kiss his nose and rub his little belly welly, you know Mr. Pickles is thinking, "You betrayed me." Anywho, Progressive pays up to $1,000 in vet bills if your pet is injured in an auto accident. Learn more at Progressive.com and watch where you step. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Collision coverage subject to policy terms. Not available in all states.
Pizza's here. Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
The Golf Club of Texas has some of the best course conditions with the friendliest staff. The golf is great. They have lighted driving range and practice area. While it feels like a country club, it's not a private club. It's open to the public, so bring the family into the Tin Cup Bar, the nicest sit-down restaurant in that area of San Antonio, specializing in Texas food, wine, and spirits. For golf or dinner, go to the Golf Club of Texas off Highway 90, online at golfclubtexas.com. The Golf Club of Texas, the friendliest golf course in Texas.
Testosterone levels in men can start to decrease as early as 30 years old, and long-term health risks can be extremely damaging to your body. Rock's Discount Vitamins carries a variety of natural testosterone boosters that can immediately provide you with more energy, increase libido, increase metabolism, and improve your mood. Rock's Discount Vitamins natural testosterone boosters can even help you build muscle and lose weight faster. With 11 San Antonio locations, visit rocksdiscountvitamins.com. Thanking God and South Texas for all the support.
The Ace Superhero Comic Con presented by Thomas J. Henry is coming June 20th through the 23rd. Meet Star Trek's Chris Pine, Spider-Man Far From Home star Jake Gyllenhaal, Pirates of the Caribbean's Orlando Bloom, Star Wars Diego Luna, She-Hulk's Tatiana Maslany, and the Marvels Aman Vellani. Plus, the Supermen, Ghostbusters Ernie Hudson, and Arrow's Stephen Amell and David Ramsey. Get your event passes now at pmxevents.com. That's pmxevents.com.
Have you gotten your hands on Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds at HEB yet? Southern Recipe small batch offers big, bold flavors like hot honey, spicy dill, and sea salt and cracked black pepper. Bonus, you're going to love the low-carb, high-protein crunch. Turn snack time from ordinary to extraordinary with flavorful pork rinds. Pick up your favorite flavors of Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds at HEB today.
This is Jim Rome, and you're listening to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This is San Antonio Sports Star 94.1. This is the Blitz. I'm Joe Reinagle. Jason Minnick's on vacation. James Pledger pushing all the buttons. Speaking of vacations, our good friend John Machota with The Athletic, who covers the Dallas Cowboys as well as anybody. You were on vacation last week, John. Did you return refreshed and ready to chase the Cowboys again?
I did. I went up to visit family up in Michigan, where I'm from, and I got back, a few days ago, and I'm recharged and I'm ready to write about all these contract extensions. Jerry just has to get them done now.
Well, that's true, and it's almost like you came back to what you left. Nothing.
I'm going to tell you this. This is the time of year when, we try, when you cover an NFL team, you try and use most of your vacation, because you're not going to really use it during the season. The NFL is during the off season, especially, the February, March, April part into draft season. So this is the time to take off. But even with that, I usually am a little nervous. Like, I'm going to go on vacation. I'm going to miss something. I want to be, I want to be here if something's going to happen. And more so than any other year, I didn't even take my laptop with me. I'm like, if something miraculous happens, I'll write a story on my phone. But I was just like, it's not just this last couple of weeks. It's the last few months where I'm just like, yeah, I think I'm good here.
Yeah, no kidding. Isn't that the truth? Boy, it has been eerily quiet. It really has. And it's not like other NFL teams are not doing anything. Trevor Lawrence gets a deal, and we know about Justin Jefferson. So other teams are doing things. But is it just me, John, or does it seem eerily quiet around the Star?
Oh, no, this is the most quiet they've been. And so I would say, I started covering the team in 2011. So it's definitely the most quiet it's been since then. And I would think it's probably this is about as quiet as it's been at any time since Jerry Jones has owned the team. Just in terms of, if you count free agency moves, no trades, players from their own team signing with other teams. There's just not a lot going on with the team. And so I don't know, it's hard to compare it to anything, because I'm used to there always being something. And it just, if the actions speak louder than words, like I believe they do, the actions are that, the players are fine with waiting it out on their deals, because they know that their price tag only goes up. And Jerry Jones seems to be fine with allowing these guys to play on these final years of their deal, and the coaching staff to coach on the final year or under 1 year deals. And it just seems like that they're willing to just see where the chips fall this season. And then next off season, that's when things could get wild in terms of you might have a new franchise quarterback. You might have an entirely new coaching staff. And maybe that's where all the changes happen. But it's hard for me to believe that there hasn't been anything just because, Jerry Jones is the owner. And it just seems like it would be difficult for him to sit back and not make any moves. But here we are.
Absolutely, here we are. We're visiting with John Machota, who covers the Dallas Cowboys for The Athletic. And I say NFL players signed a couple last week in Willie Harvey Jr. and Gary and Conley, and now working out a guy from the DC Defenders who's from San Antonio, by the way, Derek Roberson. Why the interest in the UFL? Is that just a depth thing, training camp bodies? What do you think?
Well, I think a little bit has to do with just them having the success of finding Brandon Aubrey that way, who obviously is now their kicker, considering, a year ago at this time, we had no idea who that was going to be. And then he far exceeds expectations. And then the same thing with Cavante Turpin. I mean, they found their primary kick and punt returner and a guy that they plan on getting even more involved in the offense this year in a similar fashion, from the USFL. And so because they've had some success with that, I think that factors in. And then also they're just not looking to spend any money. And so if you're not going to spend any money, how do you add talent to your roster? And it's either undrafted rookie free agents or it's guys that were playing in a different pro football league that are now free to sign with whatever team they can sign with. And so the tough part about that is, there'll be guys that can fill out the roster, but I think most Cowboys fans would sit there and say, well, you've won 12 games each of the last 3 seasons. Like, you're knocking on the door. Why wouldn't you be doing more to improve this roster where everything that they've shown us so far and where the roster sits today, it's not going to be a better roster than it was last year. So where's the hope in a fan base to think that next season is going to be any different?
There's not, and that's the baffling part about it. I think is the Cowboys seemed to me they were so close, and then obviously the wheels fell off in that first playoff game. And I go back to you all the time, John, when you said you've never seen Jerry Jones that irritated, that pissed off, if for lack of a better word. And do you think that it still stems from that with what's happened or not happened with the Cowboys?
Oh, I think so. I think every day that passes that there's not a Dak contract extension done. I think it kind of speaks to him being like, all right, fine. This is how it's going to be. Let's let these guys play under this final year. And then we'll reevaluate things next off season. If they can, kind of have a magical year and can make a deep playoff run, then you know what? I have no problem giving Dak $55, $60 million and paying Micah whatever he needs and CD whatever he needs. But if we fall short again, then maybe it's time we make some tough decisions and we go in other directions. And that's not exactly going to be anything that wins the fan base over either. I mean, you talk about moving on from the coaching staff and quarterback, and you go into next season and those 2 spots are new. Why would there be any hope that that's going to all of a sudden be a playoff team? So, I mean, if you're a Cowboys fan, you got to be kind of nervous right now about where things are headed, because I don't know how this season is going to be any better to where all of a sudden you're like, okay, well, let's get these contracts done now. Like you're not improving the roster. So how are you going to make this deep playoff run and finally get back to a Super Bowl? I mean, I guess being fortunate in the injury department and other teams deal with injuries and you're kind of, just in the right place at the right time. I don't know if that sounds like a recipe for winning, but they're in a spot that just doesn't seem like one that would really make fans very excited.
Boy, not to mention, John, it seems to me that the NFC has improved, if you, at least on paper, as you look at it right now. I mean, obviously, Detroit's going to be better. Green Bay is going to be a better football team. The Eagles have improved their situation. I think Washington will be a little bit improved. So I think it's going to be a tougher road to hoe with a lesser team, and I think that's what scares a lot of Cowboy fans.
Oh, no question. I mean, and we've just seen it over the last few years of just the teams that have been very aggressive. Those have been the teams more often than not. Let's not count the team that has Superman Patrick Mahomes, but the other ones that have gotten there or won it all, they've been very, very aggressive and they have been all in without saying it. Their actions spoke for it being all in. And this Cowboys team, as good as they've been the last 3 years, winning 12 games each of those 3 years, you just sit there and you wonder, okay, well, you look at the schedule, you're like, yeah, I can see this team winning double-digit games again, but I don't know where all of a sudden I would feel any differently about them going into January, and ultimately that's what they're going to be decided by. So, I just it's tough because you want to. This is a time of year, especially once training camp starts, is that's the time to sell like positivity and a new season and a fresh start. And this is going to be a hard one for Jerry to sell.
Yeah, no doubt about it. John Machota, who covers the Dallas Cowboys for The Athletic. John, you're the perfect guy to ask this question to. And we just got the news that Barry Sanders had a heart scare, and looks like he's going to be okay, but certainly scary. And Pledge and I were just talking about the memories that we have of Barry Sanders. Just your thoughts initially on the news of Barry Sanders.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, he's probably that's probably my all-time favorite athlete. So yeah, I saw that. I was surprised by it, but he's not very old. I mean, he's in his mid-50s. He's obviously heavier than he was when he played. But I didn't think that he would be but I guess you just never know, especially if it's a heart condition or something like that. But yeah, to me, Barry Sanders, man, you grew up a Lions fan. Talk about this Cowboys team not having hopes of making deep January playoff runs. You really weren't thinking that, but you always knew, oh yeah, you turn on a game, Barry's going to do something that's going to leave you kind of saying, wow. And when I think of Barry Sanders, one of the things that always comes to my mind is just now covering the NFL is how I feel like almost every sport, no matter who your legendary guys are, someone comes along who you're like, oh, that guy kind of reminds me of this guy. Michael Jordan, the greatest athlete I've ever seen. You could even say Kobe Bryant did a lot to look just like Jordan. I've never seen anybody look like Barry Sanders. And I thought for sure somebody would eventually come along. And there's been some guys like LaDainian Tomlinson and stuff like that, but just the stuff that Barry did every Sunday, there's nobody that's doing that right now. And it surprised me just because even if I don't care what sport it is, maybe you don't love it as much as you used to. You can't make the argument that there aren't better athletes now than ever before, whether it's, baseball, football, basketball, hockey, whatever. And I thought for sure there'd be somebody else that came along that looked like Barry, and I've never seen another Barry since.
Well, I tell you what, John, I'm not ashamed to admit it, but I actually shed a tear when he announced his retirement. And I'm with you. He was my favorite running back of all time, and there's been a lot of good ones, but there was something about Barry Sanders. It almost like he was running on air, and it was just amazing to watch that man play football each Sunday.
Oh, absolutely. And you just very rarely ever saw anybody get like a real good hit on him. Like when you watch Emmett and heck, just over these last, 5-6 years, watching some of Zeke's great years, he takes a pounding, and that's become such a norm for that running back position. And Barry, you just very rarely ever saw him take a lick where you're like, ooh, is Barry going to get up from that one? Because it was so hard to get a solid hit on him. You could bring him down. Usually it would take more than one guy, but it was tough to really get a good hit. And that's why there's a part of me that, obviously I wish he would have played a lot longer because I think he had a lot more to offer. But at the same time, the flip side is that you never saw bad Barry. I don't know what Barry at the end of his career looks like. That's not elite of the elite. He stopped playing it when he was still at the top of his game, and so few athletes do that. And so because of that, he's also become such an interesting person to follow, just because you're like, man, I can't believe that you could hang it up at the top of your game, because almost nobody does that anymore.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. He's John Machota. You can follow him on Twitter at John Machota, Jon, and he covers the Cowboys for The Athletic. Subscribe to The Athletic. John, we appreciate it. Maybe something between now and next Friday will happen at the Star. We can only hope, right?
I agree with you. I will just say this. The one thing that I hope doesn't happen, because this is the time of the season for that, is you just don't want any of the arrests, any trouble with the law or anything with that. Contract signings, trade for players, improve the roster. Those are the fun things to write about. Let's keep it down that road.
I agree with you there. John, thanks a lot, man. Enjoy your weekend.
All right, you too. Thanks.
John Machota covers the Dallas Cowboys for The Athletic. Subscribe to The Athletic. Some great articles there. John does a great job. And, of course, John Machota appears via the Buyers Barricade guest line. Buyers Barricades provides traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond. Online at buyersbarricades.com. John Machota, nothing happening, but love the thoughts on Barry Sanders, I tell you. And I think he feels a lot like us and anybody else that was a big fan of Barry Sanders. And I don't know of anybody that wasn't, to be totally honest with you. The guy was just something special. And even if you weren't a Lions fan, and not many people around here are, you appreciated Barry Sanders and the way he ran. We are going to take a break. And when we come back, Matthew Stafford's wife is airing their dirty laundry to the entire world. What in the world is she thinking? Well, we'll discuss when we return right here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. But first, if you live in San Antonio and South Texas for any period of time, a water softener is something that is almost a necessity. That is for sure. And if you're going to have a water softener in your house, you want to have the best there is. That is Connecticut. Connecticut's been serving San Antonio for over 50 years. Their products are made in America. They're up to 80% more efficient than competing models. Simple design, fewer moving parts, and, well, there's nothing to plug in. I love that about a Connecticut water softener. No buttons to push, timers to set or reset, and no adjustments to make. And certainly there's not going to be any adjustment to your electric bill because you don't plug anything in. But you get hot water when you need it, and only when you need it, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And right now, the good folks at Connecticut Quality Water Softeners are going to give you an offer I can't believe. It is a fantastic offer. They're going to install a water softener in your home, if you have the plumbing all set up for it, for 90 days. Absolutely free with no contract. Let me say that again. They will install a Connecticut quality water softener in your home for 90 days, absolutely free with no contract. That is a crazy offer, one that you have to take advantage of. Call them 656-PURE. That's 656-7873. Or you can get them online at ConnecticutSA.com. And you know the jingle. Sing it with me. It's the last water softener you'll ever own. Call 656-PURE, Connecticut.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Monday on the Morning Huddle, are the Aggies standing supreme or do they need another game? We'll talk about it.
And finally, it's draft week in San Antonio. We'll see what the latest is with the Spurs. Morning Huddle, 94.1 starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Morning 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Syntec Premium Full Synthetic Motor Oil is formulated for today's engines. Available only at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
No one knows the importance of a great assist more than Lowe's and Leo Messi. That's why we've teamed up to give My Lowe's Rewards members 10 times the points when Messi makes an assist during CONMEBOL Copa America USA 2024. Activate this offer starting June 20th, so when Messi assists, you score. Shop the day after an assist to earn those extra points. Not a My Lowe's Rewards member? Join for free today.
Find what you love, love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wines.
Only at Total Wine and More. Drink responsibly. Be 21.
You want another way to add excitement to watching the NBA playoffs? Jason Minix here. Let me tell you about Underdog Fantasy. It is a fan favorite way to play fantasy sports, especially playing the pick'em game, where you pick between 2 and 5 players to build your pick'em entry, and all you have to do is select higher or lower on player stats. If your picks hit, you can win up to 100 times your money. Endless projections to choose from. It is fantasy and it is legal in Texas. So get started by going to the easy-to-use Underdog Fantasy mobile app or go to the website underdogfantasy.com. Sign up with my promo code STAR and Underdog will give you a mystery special pick to use on your first pick'em entry and a deposit offer. Must be over 18 and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. Again, sign up using my promo code STAR at underdogfantasy.com.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that is MediShare. Maybe you've heard switching to MediShare to pay for healthcare can save many families up to $500 a month, and that is huge. But it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The member satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. Medishare works too. It's been around for 30 years. Members have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now. You'll get a price within 2 minutes. So see what you can save. This is a very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. Call 844-43-BIBLE. That's 844-43-BIBLE. 844-43-BIBLE.
Why wait for the weekend? Twin Peaks is serving scratch food, pouring quality cocktails every day after dark. Visit a Twin Peaks near you and experience the best late night in the league. Today, tomorrow, or any day of the week. Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, and scenic views.
Ready for the ultimate outdoor adventure? 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star has your chance to win a getaway to Telluride, Colorado. Your prize package includes airfare and luxurious hotel accommodations for two, plus thrilling expeditions like fly fishing, kayaking, ATV rides, and more. And it could be all yours. Enter once per day at sasportstar.com. You must be 18 or older to play. This is an Alpha Media company-wide contest. One winner will be chosen. Complete rules at sasportstar.com. Don't miss out on the adventure of a lifetime. Enter now at sasportstar.com.
This is Tony Pollard, and you're listening to the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Tony Pollard, ex-Dallas Cowboy, current Tennessee Titan.
I thought you'd like that on
Somewhere
Friday.
Jason Minnick's head is exploding as we speak. Because even if he didn't hear that, he feels it. He goes, man, what just happened? There was a click in the atmosphere. Good one, Pledge. Good one. Hi, everybody. This is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Joe Reinagel. Jason Minnick is on vacation. James Pledger is here and making some funnies today. So that's a good thing. Oh, Tony Pollard. And Minnick hates it when we play that because, well, the guy's no longer a Dallas Cowboy. So, you know, once they leave the Cowboys, you're dead to me. That's it. You're dead to me. Oh, my goodness.
Until they retire, then they can come home
like
like
I
DeMarcus
guess.
Ware.
I don't know about Pollard, though. You know, when you look at DeMarcus Ware, that was a little bit of a different situation. Tony Pollard, I don't know if he's ingrained into Cowboyville like anybody else. So unless he comes back and you know, becomes a star running back, you just never know. I don't know what Tony Pollard's going to do at Tennessee. That remains to be seen. But looking forward to the football season, and certainly looking forward to the NBA draft. My goodness. It's going to be fun, and it's going to give us a direction of where the Spurs are going to take this franchise. And what's funny is that Pledge during the break was telling me that Brian Windhorst and some others are saying there could be some trouble in Clipperville when it comes to Paul George. And I've heard that. And it may be time to deal this guy.
You wanted a vet.
I do. But you talk about big game hunting.
That's big game.
That's about as big a game as it gets when it comes to that. But boy, could you imagine a Paul George next to a Victor Wembanyama?
He is an unselfish star.
Well, he is. And I just don't think that, him and number two partnership have gotten it done. And it's going to be interesting.
I mean, you got to be there to get it done, right?
The problem, well, sure, you got to play occasionally. The problem is if the Clippers make a Paul George available, there'll be several teams that are going to go after this guy. I mean, I would. It's just a fantasy world.
Several teams with more capital, though.
Well, not necessarily, and certainly draft capital. That's for sure. But and Paul George would have to agree to that too. I mean, he would be a part of that, but maybe he would to get an opportunity to play alongside a Victor Wembanyama. That, my goodness, that would be fantastic. Now, I know the New York Knicks would be a player when it comes to a Paul George. I think the Sixers might be. Look, any team could benefit from a guy like that. It's going to be interesting. I think, and again, it all goes back to the draft, to what's going to happen. And the fact that this draft is just so out there and that there's rumors and stuff all over the place. But when it comes to a Paul George, the more that you hear, and there has been a lot, and it has really, it has really fired up here lately. In fact, CBS Sports is got a report on it just from an hour ago, talking about a Paul George and some other players that might be open to moving some players. The Bulls be in a full rebuild. Zach LaVine could be next out of Chicago. They already got rid of Alex Caruso, right? Traded him for Josh Giddey with the Oklahoma City Thunder. That happened yesterday. Now, Paul George, according to this, could opt in and get traded. That could happen if he did. 76ers have him as an offseason target, according to this article. The Orlando Magic could be a player in something like that. There are going to be a lot of teams interested in this guy. So, but yeah, Blitz, to answer your question, I mean, in a dream scenario, yes, I would love to have a Paul George. That would be like bagging an elephant.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously.
I mean, if you really want to put this thing on the fast track, I don't think there's a faster way to get into relevancy, especially in the Western Conference, than adding a player like him.
I do. I just am a little bit reluctant that number one, that the Spurs would go after him. I just don't. I'm not sure that they would. That kind of a big name player. Number one, and number two, would he want to come to San Antonio? So hey, who knows? Stranger things have happened. That's for sure. So we'll watch that and see where Paul George. But it looks like, with all the smoke that's coming out of Clipperville, that Paul George, his time in Los Angeles with the Clippers could very well be coming to an end. And that's going to be something that, is something that certainly bears watching. No doubt about it. And again, I cannot wait for Wednesday to get this thing done and to see what direction, that the Spurs are going to go in. And will they go big game hunting? Or will it just be small game? Or will it be no game? There's always those possibilities, and I don't think anybody knows at all what the Spurs' plan is at this moment in time. We can speculate all day long. There was a report from a reporter from Bleacher Report that said they're shopping the number 8 pick, but it didn't say what they were shopping for or what they would do. So it's hard to look at those things and say, well, yeah, that makes sense, and it does, and I hope that they are, depending on what they want to do and what they could get for it and what they could package that with, perhaps. And that would have to be just the number 8 pick on its own might not get you anything, but you package that with some other things, and it really could be something special when it comes to the Spurs. So looking forward to it. I really am, because it's going to answer so many questions. And speaking of questions, have you heard that the Staffords, are they doing okay? Does anybody know Matt Stafford and his wife? Are they doing okay? Because I might be a little worried about them. If you haven't,
very concerned about the Staffords today.
Are you? Have you?
You are.
I am concerned about it. I like Matt Stafford. I've always liked Matt Stafford. I think he's one of the most underrated quarterbacks in the National Football League. And I was happy that he got out of Detroit when he did, went to a team and won a championship. And a team that did something that I think the Dallas Cowboys should think about doing, blowing caution to the wind and just go all in. And not Jerry's definition of all in. The Los Angeles Rams definition of all in. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers definition of all in. That's what the Cowboys need to do. But what baffles me, Pledge, and why I'm so intrigued by this story is that I can't believe that Mrs. Stafford said this.
Wait, so was he trying to casually date and you were all in?
Oh, yeah, girl. Anyways, long story short, it wasn't that cute of a relationship at first. I hated him. I loved him. I dated the backup to piss him off, which worked.
Yes.
He was like,
that'll do it.
He was the bad boy too. Like, Matthew's so sweet and Southern gentleman and all that stuff. And the backup was the complete opposite.
Yeah.
Ooh, and it upset him. So they lived in the same dorm because athletes lived in the same dorm, and he would see my car there. And so at one point he like waited and followed me out and got in my car and wouldn't get out. And he was
You're
like,
this is so hot.
I was like, this is amazing. It's working.
Yeah.
I was get out of my car, and he was like, he's not right for you. And I was like, what? You can't tell me that.
Wow. Well, he did tell you that, but you didn't have to listen to him. Obviously, things worked out, and Matthew forgave her for dating the backup quarterback at Georgia, and they got married.
Obviously, Matt was just.
Well, we'd like to see some more leaves fall. We'd like to
maybe
he was just waiting for some more leaves to fall.
Perhaps he was, and maybe that's what got him over the edge. Obviously, Kelly, his wife, was chasing him. He wasn't paying enough attention to her, so she said, okay, I'm going to date the backup quarterback just to piss you off. And it worked.
Worked like a champ.
Wow. How about that? I just don't know if I would reveal that to the entire world, but Kelly did. And
it's a great idea, Jim.
Yeah, she's genius. Maybe she ought to coach the Rams. Get drawing up plays like that. That's pretty good. Somebody ought to look at her to be a head coach somewhere. I mean, to me, that's a Hail Mary pass that worked to perfection. Simply worked to perfection. Goodness gracious. Wow. Well, good for her. I just don't know about announcing that to the entire world. That's kind of strange. But and that's the other thing. She's sitting there. She's pretty proud of that. I mean, she's pretty proud of it. So it's interesting, and I hope the Staffords are doing okay. I do like Matt Stafford. I do, and I think the Rams are going to be better. I didn't mention that when we were talking with John Machota. I think they're going to have a much better team and be in the mix in the NFC again as well. But nothing today, Pledge, tops
Hawk Tuah and spit on that thing.
that right there, the Hawk Tuah Girl, who is going viral and apparently has been for a long time. I'm just the last guy to the party. But I want to end the show on this because I'm a big fan now. And on our YouTube channel, and I haven't been able to verify this, but on our YouTube channel, one of the participants there said that she's selling merchandise now.
Yeah, autographed merchandise.
And you know what? If she's not, she's a fool. If you don't take advantage of this, it's kind of like the girl on the plane that said that dude's not real. She's taken advantage of it, or she certainly did take advantage of it. And yeah, it probably made a few bucks out of that. And so it was good for her. She got a lot of publicity. Well, Hawk Tuah Girl.
Hawk Tuah.
That girl, if she's not taking advantage of it, she's not as smart as I thought she was.
Hawk Tuah and spit on that thing.
Well, the one thing that I'm impressed by with that girl, and I have to tell you, I am impressed, is that as soon as that question was asked, she had an answer. It was like, bam.
What's one move in bed that makes a man go crazy every time?
Oh, you got to give him that Hawk Tuah and spit on that thing.
we get to suck on that all week.
I want me some glory hole.
Is it Jerry Jones' daughter? Was she the one? Oh my goodness. Interesting.
And spit on that thing.
Well, look, the internet is undefeated. All right, it is. The internet is undefeated because you take advantage of this.
And spit on that thing.
And there's all kinds of stuff floating around on the internet. I've just been highly entertained today by all of this stuff. All of the videos, and I don't know if there's memes. And I saw a video of guys looking like they're enjoying themselves, and as she sang that, and it's just been fun. It's been one of those days. And actually, this Hawk Tuah Girl is it's kind of what pulled me out of a funk today after a couple of things happened. It was the cherry on top, I should say, and I mean cherry on top. It was kind of nice to come in and Pledge show me this, and it was fantastic. So Props to that girl, whoever she is, a little Southern girl from somewhere. Is this another one? Pledge has been having a lot of fun back there, making stuff and putting music together with stuff. And I just thought this was appropriate, since maybe this will get you all into the weekend mood. And who knows? You know, maybe you try different things tonight. Maybe it's a wild Saturday night for you. And you can try some different things that maybe you haven't tried before. Maybe some of you have tried this before. Props to you. Apparently, rumor has it that this young lady is a pastor's daughter, which doesn't really surprise me all that much, because I dated one in high school, and the reputation, at least for her, was it was correct. You ever dated a preacher's daughter, Pledge?
I don't believe so, no.
Well, you would know. You would know. You would say with 100% accuracy, yes, Joe, I have. And the reputation is correct. But one more time, Pledge, please. Give us a Hawk Tuah.
Hawk Tuah and spit on that thing. You get me?
I hope that gets you in a great mood for the weekend, everybody. I'm in a great mood. Thanks for dealing with me all week. And Pledge, thank you for everything. And Minix will be back on Monday. We're getting ready for the NBA draft. Looking forward to it. You guys have been fantastic. I love you. Have a great weekend, everybody. Good night.
You gotta give that Hawk Tuah spit on that thing. You gotta give that Hawk Tuah spit on that thing. Hawk Tuah spit on that thing. 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 Hawk Tuah.
Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend.
This is The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons 2 to 6, KTFM, Floresville. And everywhere it